I'll beat you both off right now. I wasn't ready.
It was exactly as we planned it.
No one's
Never
ever ready
is.
to get
No
beached
one is.
off.
That's exactly what I wanted you to say.
We're trying a new angle. How do we like? I just gotta make
I
sure
like
it's
the
staring at
angle.
What?
It's
You're
over block
lower?
screen. I don't know.
Lower pointing up? What's going
It's
on?
on my. It's weird because now if I look up here where I'm used to looking all the time,
It's like
It
a
doesn't work.
dominance thing. Likes people to look up at them, you know? Yeah.
I don't like that it covers my Mortal Kombat. Though, so I don't whatever.
Yeah, I don't like that you gotta show it off.
Anyways, happy Flickin' Friday, friends. Welcome to the Swift Wings Speakeasy, or should it be the Swanthony Lopez Wings Speakeasy?
Nope. I like the way it was before. You don't gotta do that.
Great. Here, the only thing you can predict is a good time. Alcohol not always required, but often encouraged. We are your source for news, reviews, and daily discourse. Normally, especially on the once heard of News and Views show that sometimes drops on Saturdays. However, on Fridays, it's more often disorder than discourse. So please join in the conversation as we discuss life, liberty, and the pursuit of fandom, as always. If you want to support this channel as the world falls apart, please leave your questions and comments on the Streamlabs link down here on the bottom of the screen under Chris. And yeah, that stuff. So many things have. This has felt like the longest week, but we've had like bombs dropping every day.
Every day.
I want to talk about Barbie.
Let's talk about Barbie, Chris. All right, this is not working for me. I'm gonna put you back.
No, man, I like how you had it before.
Anyways, I would love to talk about Barbie. I would love to talk about two guys just working through things, beaching it off.
Yo, I don't understand. Like, no
No
one's
one
ever really
beats it off
prepared
unless
to
I
get
get
beached
beached
off.
Yeah.
That was such an inappropriate joke for a Barbie trailer.
It's a PG-13 movie. I don't know what to tell you.
It's PG-13. I mean,
Yeah.
I bet everything's PG-13.
They're angling for a kid audience. Just
No
by
way.
Just
No
by
way.
being Barbie. Just by being Barbie, they're angling for a kid audience. My daughter wants
that
to go
movie's
see it.
not
She's
for
10.
kids.
Right? After
Sean,
that
you gonna take your
trailer-
kids to go see Barbie?
Yeah, they see worse stuff than that. But, my kids are not the sheltered type, so yeah, I'm the wrong one to ask.
I
I
watched.
saw Candyman when I was 5 years old. That shit
Mm.
scarred me forever.
That's,
Yeah, especially the part where Charlie got in the elevator and it like shattered through the glass and went flying in the sky.
Different Candyman.
Different Candyman. Okay, I just want to
Also
shout out.
scarring.
Is it raining? Is it snowing? Just want to comment on the comment in the chat here. Just
Good
got out of the
morning,
Mario movie.
Starshine.
What's going on, Derpy? And Derpy's review of the Mario movie is it was Yahoo!
Good job.
Chris, did you see it? Did you see Mario?
No.
Oh,
I was gonna go see
no.
it tonight, but then and then there was a whole like Speakeasy thing, and I said let's do that instead.
Hello, Jeremy.
You know, I think you made the right decision.
I'm happy to be here. Yeah, I'm really behind on my movies. I haven't seen Scream yet. Haven't seen John
You
Wick
still
yet.
haven't seen Scream. I haven't seen John Wick yet. I had to cancel my
March-
tickets Monday
March.
because as I said in my group chat, I broke my
That's right.
phone. I was
Yeah, you did
so
break
mad.
the
March is like the biggest month in movies. I almost said the movie in months, but yeah, that also works. I
March
guess.
is the biggest movie in months. Jesse, what was the first movie that you watched when you're like, I shouldn't be watching this? Like you knew the movie was way
That's
too inappropriate for you.
That's a really fun question.
Sean,
Oh.
because Sean mentioned Candyman.
Oh, that wasn't the movie, but I have an answer for it.
Oh,
Good.
okay. Well, if we all have answers.
Hey,
I'll wait for Jesse to
age before beauty or beauty before age, whichever applies to this situation. That lets me go first.
we don't need to hurt Chris's feelings again. He already had to live through a long.
What are you
weekend of
talking
wrestling.
about? WrestleMania only was one night, and it was only Saturday night.
It was
What are you
only
guys talking about?
Saturday. It ended after Saturday. There was no night 2.
Yeah, Raw got canceled on Monday. Did you guys see that? I only heard of SmackDown tonight. Heard that was good.
If you
Things I
listen to
watched.
the internet, it got canceled.
Before I should have, or also,
Yeah.
I am the youngest of 5. I
Okay.
spent more time living, but all my siblings are half siblings, so they were kind of in and out of the house. They weren't often actually living with me. But the longest period of time I spent living was with my sisters, and they really liked Austin Powers.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so yeah, Austin Powers was on when I was really young, and I remember they kept scooting me out of the room while they tried to watch it. and they eventually like put me on top of the dryer and just told me to stay in the laundry room while they watched the movie. And I like, while all the lights were off, and I crawled around and went under the kitchen table and looked into the living room and watched it from like a room away.
That's
Also,
So Austin-
Independence Day gave me nightmares.
Independence Day gave you nightmares. Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, I'm assuming.
Actually, it might have been Spy Who Shagged Me because I remember Fat Bastard.
okay.
Word. Okay. Sean, what was yours?
So, my dad was a single man, a single father for most of my growing up life. So he didn't exactly have babysitters when he wanted to go see an adult movie, not an adult movie, but a rated R movie. Granted, this was definitely an adult movie, and I remember it. But when Striptease came to the dollar theaters, he took me at like 7 years old.
Oh my God.
To see
I don't know if I was supposed to be watching the Girls Gone Wild commercials that dropped at 1 o'clock in the morning, but they were on cable television. So
I wasn't expecting
you
a
probably
Girls Gone
weren't
Wild
supposed to.
mention on the Speakeasy tonight.
weren't you?
My.
You should
No,
have.
Did
Did you see the thumbnail for the show today?
Mommies?
You're right, mommies. For the record, I did not approve of that thumbnail. Just in case anyone.
That was not sanctioned.
If anyone says, "Oh my
I
God, the
asked for
thumbnail's
feedback.
bad," not my idea. If anyone co-signs the thumbnail, yes, it was my idea, 100%.
Okay, I lied. Okay, so that movie came out in '96, so I was 10. I was 9, and then 10
Still.
when it came. So I was 10 years old
Still.
when it came to the dollar theater. I was
Puberty
way too
hit
young
Sean
to see
at
that.
10.
But you know what? Hey, Demi Moore, hit me up.
Yo,
You could have more Demi. Is that what you're saying?
For sure. Yeah, I was way too young to see that movie.
I ask because every time I'm gonna take my glasses off. I don't like the reflection. I ask because like some of my favorite movies of all time, I watched them with my mom growing up, and because for the most part it was like me, my mom, my grandma, and my aunt is in and out of the house. But for the most part, it'd be me and my mom watching movies. So growing up, I was a big fan of Blood In, Blood Out. Don't know if y'all have heard of that one.
Sounds like
I'm gonna Google this real quick.
It's a movie about Latin gangs, and a child should not have been watching it.
No.
Yeah, Blood In, Blood Out, and then some classics. Dumb and Dumber. Friday was a watch that I had very young.
Oh yeah.
And
Same.
a lot of the Liars, a lot of the Jim Carrey flicks at the time. But I was and of course Austin Powers. We were not a cable guy house. But International Man of Mystery and really just Austin Powers in general. That was another one growing up for me. But my mom would sit me down and we'd watch these movies together. And I thought they were the funniest things ever. A lot of jokes flying over my head.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That's a great franchise to grow up with because every time you watch it, it's a little funnier.
Right.
Oh my God. I showed one of my roommates. She had never seen it. So me, my other roommate, and her, we sat down and we watched it together. There's some stuff that does not hold up.
No.
No.
I showed Lauren for the first time, all three of them, like a couple months ago.
Yo, for the first time? I want to say
time.
she might have tweeted about it. I might have said something.
The Blood In, Blood Out movies?
No.
There's Blood In, Blood Out.
The
There's
epic
Blood
trilogy.
Inner and Blood Outer.
The epic trilogy?
2 Blood, 2 Out. The whole thing. But speaking of movies that have not aged well, I watched, oh my God, I'm embarrassed to say this. I watched Scary Movie again recently.
The first one?
The first one. Oh my
The
God.
farther you go back, the worse. Honestly,
Yeah.
three was my favorite in that franchise.
Oh no, the first 2 only for me.
To me, the funniest part about the first one was Ghostface.
Yeah.
Like everything that pertained to Ghostface.
What?
And how dramatic the Ghostface falls were,
What?
Like just the different faces and the Ghostface reveal at the end of the movie is absolutely insane. It's
remember.
predictable. The movie tells you who it is.
Right.
But
is it the same as the actual Scream movie?
No.
Is it someone else? I can't remember honestly.
I can say it,
Isn't
right?
it Dewey or?
I mean, I think
Yes, it's Scary Movie's version of Dewey.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forget.
Doofus.
Yeah. Doofy.
Some-
Deputy Doofus or
Doofy.
something.
Yeah, it's Doofy.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And half of Doofy's everything does not hold up.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched the whole thing recently. Yeah, it caught me. He runs out with the vacuum.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And I watched that way too young on like Comedy Central or some shit.
Oh yeah, I saw that movie way too young. I mean, anything that was I think the first one was rated R if I remember right, but like there was a lot of sexual stuff in that movie. Anything that was PG-13, my parents never shielded me from that at all. Because I mean, I was around swearing and like violence and stuff, like just like that was just like normal watching stuff in our house. It was more like nudity stuff that I was at my mom's house, not my dad's house, obviously, as previously stated, which is not stuff that I, choose to show my kids. But my kid plays Call of Duty with me and stuff like that, and fight. So like violence is never an issue. Like he loves, like Cobra Kai is his favorite show, and if you've watched that, you know how much swearing and stuff is going on in that show.
Don't get too crazy in there,
he's
though.
9. Not too bad, but still a little bit,
Right. My big thing, at least like growing up, was just I think my mom was just keen on like if he's heard worse. Like my mother was
right.
She swore, and there was nothing too crude. At least if there was, she may have covered my eyes or something. I can call her and ask, but I'm not going to. But
excuse me.
I don't remember watching anything too crazy. At least when I was with her. I mean, of course, when we all had access to a TV, we were gonna watch, whatever movies are gonna be on Comedy Central, TNT, whatever late at night. Like I watched Team America World Police.
Oh no.
Oh, there you go.
Like this may put me in hot water at this point. Whatever. There's been worse on the internet recently, at least on our Twitter feeds lately. Am I right?
Sure.
But I think Team America is top 25 all time for me.
Wow.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think so. Like that movie is so fucking funny. It has the best sex scene I've ever seen on TV.
Yes. Honestly, the South Park guys, they don't miss. I think they're fantastic. I saw South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut before I was 10 years old, I think. If I remember when it was really, and that movie, for being a South Park movie, it's really graphic. Lots of swearing, sexual innuendos, everything you can think of. I saw Night of the Living Dead 3 when I was way too young. I think a friend had it on like VHS or something. Mm-hmm. And so when we were just hanging out at his house, like we would watch that movie. And that came out in like 93. And so I was probably 8, 6, 7, 8 years old, like when we'd watch that. And that's real graphic.
I have a whole section of things that I should not have watched when I was younger. And that was when I started getting on the internet and I discovered newgrounds.com. And there's no limit.
Does it show my age that I don't know what that is?
You don't know what Newgrounds? Do you know what E-Bombs World
I'm 25.
is?
Yeah, he might be just young enough.
Do you know E-Bombs World?
I've heard of that.
I swear E-Bombs World is older than Newgrounds, or at least.
I mean, there was some fucked up shit on the internet before it was not regular. Because I'm 10 years old. I'm 35. I've seen internet videos of people dying, like I'm talking like bad.
So is that what that was?
There was it was just unfiltered.
Both of those were
from
like
around the world would post some fucked up shit.
Unregulated, because like I started watching Newgrounds because they had these really cool. It was the beginning of Flash animation.
Yeah, William, when we were younger.
Internet, that darn internet.
People would make like what we're calling Flash movies. It was like early fan animation stuff that like hadn't really existed on the internet before, and so Flash animation was super taking off. And there was like these fun little like stick figure John Wick-esque kind of videos that I liked watching, and that brought me.
Oh, those are fun.
Yeah, I was like, oh, these are cool, and it brought me over to Newgrounds, and I kept watching more and more stuff on there, and then like just randomly you'd click and watch a video, and it's like pornographic. It was like a pornographic cartoon, and I was like, oh, this is porn. Like that's not what I was intending.
I'd be at the computer lab in the mall, like on Newgrounds, because they also had like Flash video games. Yeah. So you'd be playing like shoot 'em up games or like mystery, like whatever games, and I'd just be bored at the mall because my mom worked at like a restaurant at the mall, so I'd just be that was my babysitter, was roaming around the mall for 8 hours while she was at work.
How was that? I have so many questions.
I was a latchkey kid, meaning like I had no oversight when I got out of school. My dad didn't get home till 8 o'clock at night, so like I had nothing. No one was watching me. my mom would drive me with her to work on the weekends because I went to my mom's house on the weekends, and she was working at the restaurant off in the corner of the parking lot of the mall, and I would go over to the mall and just spend all day roaming the mall.
Yo,
hanging out
you're like in the movies.
Yeah, playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon
like
cards, hanging out at KB
It's
Toys.
time to
That is so nuts. Because you think that lifestyle is solely for like movies and TV. You know, you just see the kids going to the mall. You live that.
Oh yeah, I lived at
You
the
did
card
that.
store mainly, like the trading card store, because that was
That's
right.
so rad.
I played Yu-Gi-Oh cards probably 7th, 8th, and then I kind of fell out of it during like 9th grade. Once I got to high school, it was like too cool to do that type of stuff. You know?
Right.
So that's when I started falling out of it. But I played Pokemon cards before that, in like through elementary school up until I discovered until like Yu-Gi-Oh was becoming big in like 98, 99.
I loved Pokemon, but I feel like nowadays Pokemon's just kind of trash.
Ha!
What's that guy called? What's his name? What's their name?
Trubbish.
Trubbish.
I caught one of him the other day. I still play Pokemon Go.
I used to play it a lot more. I have it. I haven't, but I'm only on it like maybe once a week.
I play it like once for 2 minutes a day just to get my spin and catch a Pokemon to keep my streak going. when I remember to actually pull it up on my phone.
Commitment.
Do you guys feel a certain way about the Pokemon news and Netflix?
I saw fucking Harloff tweet about it.
They're also doing a stop
news
motion
about it.
Pokemon, I believe.
The thing that Christian Harloff tweeted about
Mhm.
like Netflix is gonna do like that's their big thing after Stranger Things. They're gonna make an Pokemon show, but the reason that's why they're ending Ash's run on the anime, I don't buy that bit.
I don't think that's true.
I think that's just Ash, you know, going.
It's been like 25 years. Yeah.
Yeah, Ash has been at 15 for 25 years. Or he's in 12 or some shit, some crazy age like that. But I think it's time. I think Ash should run his course.
Yep.
And we could do someone else. Maybe, I don't know, a girl, like how it's been in literally any other Pokemon media.
Well, like, even though on what was that? Was it Gold and Silver or whichever one May was in? She was the face of the game, even though you could choose to be a boy or a girl, and if you were a girl, you were May. Like nobody cared about the guy in that game. It's like you could be May or this guy.
I was always the girl. I was always May. Vapion, what? I got Shadow. What? Reek.
I don't want to know what that means.
Did you misspell or is that a word?
He didn't quit. Shadow Realmed? Is that Realmed? Shadow Realm?
Shadow Realm, maybe. Yeah.
Shadow Realm.
That's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. Okay, so from the direct 7 hours ago, Pokemon's live action Netflix show gets a promising update.
I'll be honest, I'm more interested in a live action show than I am Detective Pikachu 2.
Mm-hmm. So here's I
agree.
Oh, that's what Harloff tweeted earlier. It's going from development to pre-production officially. So
okay, so they're doing it.
That means they wrote the script and the treatment, and now they're actually gathering like filming locations and casting, and that's what pre-pro means.
Cool.
So
yeah, no, I mean the Pokemon. I was going to say I Jessied that notion.
You know what? This report was written off of Harloff's tweet, so he's the only one to report this.
Oh, so Christian is the source.
Christian's the source.
That's him doing one of these. Just you know.
Jesse, you can't beat yourself like that on stream.
He's beaching himself off over there.
Hey, if nobody's gonna beach me off, I'll beach myself.
He's the only one to say anything. I don't know who does Christian know.
Yeah, but
he actually knows a lot of people.
I second Jesse's notion. Where like I am more intrigued in a live action Pokemon show on a streamer like Netflix that apparently just they throw money at everything. That's why everything gets made and nothing gets more than a season. Yeah, nothing sticks. But I'm still hella excited for Detective Pikachu 2. I think it's been way too long since the first one came out. What was that, 2017?
I might have a hot take with Detective Pikachu.
You love the Ditto Eyes.
Actually, yes, I did. I really did. That killed me in the theater. When it was Catherine Newton with Ditto Eyes, I peed almost.
Yeah. Oh no.
But
it was nightmare fuel.
What's a movie that you watched way too young, where you knew you probably shouldn't be watching this, but you watched it anyway?
Chris, we've been
Sin City.
Sin City. Really?
That's really Sin City. How old were you when that came out? Like 10?
However old I was when it came out, I saw it like when it came.
Damn, I said like Blood In, Blood Out. My buddy said like Nightmare on Elm Street and like Striptease. And you're out here talking about Sin City?
That movie kind of fucked me up. That yellow dude
Oh, you
Oh,
just
that's true. That's big facts.
What he
It's
said,
a
I
big
didn't hear.
facts.
I didn't hear what he said.
He said the yellow guy had
Oh,
me
the
fucked
yeah.
up.
Oh,
That
yeah.
should have me fucked up.
That's Frank Miller, ain't it? Yeah.
It was Frank. Yeah, Frank Miller did Sin City. That
Or
was Nick
Robert
Stahl,
Rodriguez.
who was from Terminator
Damn,
3.
Sin City. I've never seen it.
Oh,
You've
Yeah.
never seen it?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Have you seen Dick Tracy?
I've not seen Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy is what Sin City wanted to be. It's such a better version of Sin City.
Is that like where they made it like a comic?
It's comic.
I know. I'm just talking
Yeah.
out of my ass. I don't know anything about Sin City besides that Jessica Alba's.
Oh, I think you're with Tracy.
Well,
Sin
either
City is pretty comic book. The whole thing's black and white with like splashes of color.
And I
Yeah.
know that bit. Yeah.
so if you watch Sin City 2, A Dame Kill 4, and then the
That's
Spirit,
a Roberto. I was going to say Roberto. That's a Robert Rodriguez joint.
It's Frank Miller, Robert Rodriguez directed, I think, right?
The first one.
That makes
The
sense.
first one, right? The quality just goes downhill though. Between those 3 movies. But then watch Dick Tracy as like the 4th movie, and it's better than all 3.
What's Robert Rodriguez's best movie? Spy Kids?
I'm not super familiar.
No.
with his-
Machete?
I think Robert Rodriguez's best movie that I've seen is Alita: Battle Angel.
I haven't seen Alita still. I still
Oh,
need to see
you're a big Alita guy. I haven't
I
seen it.
like that
Count
shit.
it. Once
I
Upon a
didn't
Time in
love-
Mexico. Did he do that?
I think so. I think
I like
the ending of it was a little whack, but
The folks that love that movie.
it's pretty cool, man. It's a pretty cool movie.
It's another 2017 hit, ain't it?
Well, I wouldn't say hit, but I think it might be 2017.
That's another 2017 joint,
Okay,
ain't it?
I don't know if that's a hit.
I want to touch on what Chris was saying at the very beginning. I think he brought up something about Mario. I could be making this up, but we were talking about how we feel about.
Mario. I was talking about Pokemon. I'm
Okay,
sorry,
great.
I got sidetracked. My roommate came
So
up.
I'm making up a point. So some people are having thoughts about how much money Mario's clearly going to make, and my disdain for how much money it's making has actually nothing to do with the movie. It's because it's chopping what little legs D&D had
Yes, that's
out
true.
from under it, and D&D is a far superior movie.
You're mad because it's taking the spotlight from D&D.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's like D&D
I'm
needed,
gonna watch that this weekend.
Dungeons and
Sure, I'm
Dragons.
gonna check that out.
Dungeons and Dragons needed every bit of help that it could to like try to make its money back because it wasn't cheap. It's not Avengers expensive, but it's like 130, 150, something like that.
Well, I'll go
And
see it, Jesse.
It hasn't even hit 100 yet, and it's got to
Yeah.
make like 3 times its budget to break even, just about. And so
That's
it's
gonna do gangbusters on like home video / streaming.
that helps to a certain degree, but
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
really
folks
worried.
are gonna go back and revisit that.
I'm really worried about it.
Yeah, Madonna's in Dick Tracy. There's a stacked cast of Dick Tracy. There's so many people in that movie.
Oh yeah, and then don't forget.
Isn't Madonna and Dick Tracy?
I literally just said that.
That's what we were just saying.
Oh, okay.
What the words that I just said 12 seconds ago.
You said Dick Tracy and I blacked out because I'm like, isn't Madonna and Dick
But
Tracy?
from Dusk Till Dawn would have been my answer. I didn't realize Robert Rodriguez did the
Oh,
Faculty.
Robert Rodriguez.
I love the Faculty. That was great too.
Oh, that's the Scream spinoff or Scream ripoff, ain't it?
No. This is about
That's a Kevin Williamson movie. Did he write that?
No, maybe. I don't know.
Chris is just making up a series of statements.
Oh, he wrote it, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's definitely it's definitely not a Scream spinoff. No.
Because like Kevin Williamson, he wrote Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and The Faculty, and they all came out within like a year of each other.
The Faculty is a very different movie. It's about aliens.
Oh,
So, no, very different film.
So it's not about slashy killer boy that knows somebody.
It's about killer stuff, but it's about like an alien invasion.
What?
Okay.
Oh
What
yeah.
is
The
the
Faculty
most-
is great.
What's the most underrated movie about aliens, and why is it The Watch?
The Watch?
Oh,
the
The
Ben
Watch?
Stiller movie?
Holy
Ben Stiller
shit.
and like
That had
and
like
Jonah Hill.
what-
and them?
Oh my lord!
Is that what you're
To
talking
be
about?
honest, I'm joking, but I rewatched that movie a little less than a year ago, and I think it's hilarious.
That's the one that had where the Lonely Island's beaching each other off, ain't it?
I don't know, probably.
Andy
I don't think
Samberg,
I've seen it.
Akiva, and Jorma were in that movie, and they were beaching each other off.
in the orgy scene. I think
Yeah.
that might have been,
That's I haven't thought about The Watch in years.
Give it
I've
to him
not seen
again.
that movie.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn is in there, and he's pretty.
The most
he's pretty-
underrated movie that
But no,
has
let's-
aliens? Is that what? Is that
Let's
what
ask that as a real question. Yeah, what's a movie that you don't think enough people love and appreciate? Because obviously there's Independence Day, there's the Alien franchise, but what's like an alien specific movie?
Oh,
that- talk about
shucks. An alien movie? That's
I don't know.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's a
movies like
thinker.
Paul.
I was gonna say I've
Paul.
never seen Paul.
With Simon and Nick Frost.
Let's have people in the chat sound off on really good underrated alien.
Underrated alien movies. Now I want to give one.
Okay. Well, we don't have to hang up on that, but let's just put.
Oh no, yeah. We can keep talking about. I'll think about that one.
Mac and me.
Mac
Why not?
and me. Fucking
Star-
baby on.
Oh, Mac and me. ET2. Is that what you're talking about?
That's
God,
Paul Rudd's movie he's sponsoring this week.
Oh, Disney's A Cat from Outer Space.
No, I saw that on Disney Plus, dog. Like that.
Or
I didn't watch it. I just saw that it was on there.
Why can't Flight of the Navigator?
I love Flight. That's good.
Yeah,
That's a song. Ain't it?
That could be a remake.
just-
Flight of the Navigator definitely is right for a remake for sure.
And
Movie with
Paul
an
Rubin's
alien.
still around, so he could do the voice of Max.
No, we're gonna move on from Paul.
Fucking Pee Wee. What?
Paul Rubens
The
first role.
Guyver.
Underrated.
Mark Hamill.
Fucking love the Guyver. I saw that movie way too many times as a kid. It's such hot garbage though.
War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise.
That's an underrated alien movie.
No, it's not.
It's
I like that movie a lot
most
though.
movies of that year, probably.
Oh wow. I Am Legend. I'm kidding.
Not Super Trooper.
Super 8.
Starship Troopers is the word I was trying to think.
Starship Troopers. Isn't Super 8 about aliens, or am I making that up?
I think it might be.
Yeah,
I've never seen it. But
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't know.
Yeah.
Cloverfield as well.
It was more of a like they don't show the monster type of thing until
Galaxy
the very
Quest.
end. Like you don't see. I
Oh,
love
Galaxy
Galaxy
Quest.
Galaxy Quest, great. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the right answer. It's Galaxy Quest.
Signs
That's
is
the right
underrated. I feel like a lot of people loved it, and then it got hate as time went on.
That was a weird one that people
Do people
retroact.
hate science, or do they hate M. Night Shyamalan?
I think
I
they
think-
retroactively trying to do history changing.
Yeah, I think the hate of
Underrated
M Night
alien.
rolled into Signs was never that good anyway, like that type of thing. But I really enjoyed it. I like Signs as well, Jeremy.
Science was another movie that freaked me out specifically because of the baby monitors.
William's making things up now. He's just putting orders together.
Voyage of the Rock Aliens. What?
The never-ending story.
Scooby Doo and the Alien Invaders. Can I say
Oh.
that?
Yeah, we could also say Jupiter Ascending.
No, we don't
I didn't
have
see
to.
it.
We don't have to say that.
I think I started it. I never finished it. That and The Seventh Son. They came out. There was like a terrible double feature. They
Oh,
came
can
out
I
like
say
2 weeks
Man of
apart.
Steel?
No,
Is that-
no, you can't.
That movie's good.
Oh, yeah, he was saying
Well,
underrated.
I guess that's
can't.
true. That
You're
it's
absolutely-
underrated because it is not rated high enough. It should be number one. Everyone starts.
Man of Steel's underrated, but we've talked about that enough on this channel.
Mars Attacks, man. What
Oh,
a
Mars Attacks.
Like that movie.
I want what? Where was I playing this? At some point, I was playing a trivia match, and I remember
Edge of
that.
Tomorrow.
There you go. That's a good
finally
one.
getting a fucking sequel.
That's my answer. Is Edge of Tomorrow.
One of the deciding factors of a match I was playing was who was the president in Mars Attacks,
Like, who played the president?
and I got it. I pulled it out of
Nicholson?
wherever.
Jack
Yeah,
Nicholson?
it is
Was he
Jack
the
Nicholson.
president? Okay.
I want to say I
Scary
started
Movie
Mars
3.
Attacks.
Scary Movie 3.
Under-
See how we pee.
I don't know if
wasn't
this
Leslie
movie.
Nielsen the president, I think.
I don't know if this movie's underrated or underappreciated. More serious answer from Chris. Arrival. The Amy
Academy
Adams-
Award winning.
But like, well, if I were to go ask my fucking roommate that just came over here about Arrival, I guarantee we have no idea what that is. You know,
Well,
like
ask-
us in the movie space that watch
Right.
movies all the time, we might.
Quiet Place is an alien movie.
Yes,
I
it
guess
is.
so. I still haven't
It's-
watched it. I need to watch
The
it.
Academy Award winning A Quiet Place.
Was it sound design? Get out of here.
So yeah. So A Quiet Place. The only reason it's not that I don't want to watch it because it's like scary or whatever. I wanted to watch it in theaters to be in the ambiance of the darkness
Yeah.
and the silence. And then at home, I don't have a fucking moment to breathe, much less like sit alone for 2 hours to watch a movie in darkness. You know.
Can I tell you what the
So,
most boring
yeah.
watch long ever would be? Would be Quiet Place because we'd all be like,
Shut the fuck.
Everyone, shut up!
Shut the fuck up.
And then we'd get flagged because we'd have the audio playing in the back. But this is
We're
so
just-
quiet.
it'd be so quiet you could hear it through everybody's headphones.
Yeah, yeah.
Another genuine answer. Superman Returns.
I enjoy
That movie's
Superman
overhated.
Returns. Yeah,
Superman
I
Returns
agree.
is overhated as hell.
It was a good character piece on Superman. It was not a good action movie. It was a good
Yes.
science fiction movie. I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you're saying. Sean's on to something, y'all.
Jeremy Miller put up a good point for Arrival. Touching back on Arrival, he says it's more underseen.
Underseen.
Yeah, there you
Thank
go.
you. That's a great way of wording it. It's underseen. More people need to see it. Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, what's his nuts? Lawrence
What?
Fishburne.
Is this Coke Alien, the precursor to Cocaine Bear?
What?
Is that the spin-off of Attack of the Killer Donuts?
That was a fever dream McDonald's high budget McDonald's commercial for the Super Bowl.
Big underseen movie is definitely.
Loki, are you laughing at what? Superman Returns? What are you laughing at?
Super underseen movie would be the Power Rangers reboot.
Oh, that's another alien movie?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. The
Yeah.
Power Ranger
Zordon's
aliens
an
are-
alien.
Zord- yeah, they're all
Goldar's an
aliens.
alien.
I think that movie was great until like
Yeah.
the last 20 minutes.
Oh,
and then it was
man.
like it got super campy at the end.
It went from
That's-
great
that's-
to
That's when I
superior.
started cheering. But yeah,
Really?
Yeah,
last
that's what
words
was losing
when I
my
started
mind.
cheering.
That's when the nostalgia came in. I just think that it didn't match the tone of the rest of the movie that came before it. That's all.
You know what Sean rhymes with? Wrong.
I'm here
I
for the
still
camp.
like it overall. I just think it didn't match the rest of the
That
film.
movie's underseen, underappreciated, underrated.
We
It's
need to
everything.
Rain more things.
That whole cast,
Mhm.
I'm mad it took them a minute to pop off and to all
Right.
blow up. And even, I mean, like RJ Seiler still hasn't popped off the way I wanted
No.
him to.
I feel
Becky
so
G
bad
was
for-
there.
I feel so bad for Ludi Lin. He's just like he's in one bomb after another. He was in that.
He's
and then
Luke
in
Cage.
Full
Let's
Combat.
go.
Yeah.
He's an Aquaman, ain't he?
He is. I think he is going to be
Isn't
the next.
Isn't he the one that
Aquaman.
got slammed into the toilet?
Okay.
Oh
but-
no! I thought he's going to be in the next.
no, he was already in Aquaman.
Yeah, he was in the first Aquaman.
No.
Well,
And
he was
I don't
the
want to make it
toilet
seem
guy.
like I'm dissing Becky G. She's a more than talented singer songwriter. But again, like Dacre Montgomery, the next big thing he did was Stranger Things, and that was a while after Power Rangers.
And then
People
he was in
forgot about him.
Elvis.
He was in Elvis for like
He was in
20
Elvis.
seconds. Not long enough.
I
Still
know
haven't
it's
seen
like
Elvis.
it's the popular like vote, but he's still like in one of my top 3 like Johnny Storm like fan casts probably.
I cannot wait for the Fantastic Four to get announced, and then none of the fan casts are correct.
I hope we're not.
Oh, no.
I hope we're wrong about
yeah.
all 4 of them.
So do I. I hope so.
I would love to see in any role, Jeremy Allen White in any upcoming Marvel film.
Help me. Who is that?
From
That's
the
the guy
Bear.
from the Bear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He's
and
been-
Shameless.
You mean
The Golden Globe winning The Bear.
Yeah.
You mean
the
from
Golden Globe.
the best scene in movie 43 where he was homeschooled?
Is that an
I never
alien
saw-
movie?
No, I never saw it, but I think I know what you're talking about. And they're like, they were like, they're making fun of him for being in love with his teacher. like, isn't that your mom or something?
Yeah.
Like, because he's homeschooled.
Because he's homeschooled. She's
That's
like
disgusting.
she's like trying to hit on him and stuff, and she's like, I just want my son to experience the awkwardness of high
Yes,
school.
that's what it was. That's what it was. You know how on TikTok they're always putting just movie scenes, and it's like part 1 of 12. It's like this is the whole movie. Should
I was watching
I've seen the
Moneyball
movie.
like that a couple days ago. I was going from video to video.
Part 1 of 32, Moneyball.
I was here for it. It was right when Billy Bean was trading everybody, and Philip Seymour Hoffman was getting all pissed off. It was a whole thing.
I still haven't seen Moneyball.
Oh, it's such a good
I need
movie.
I need to watch it. I love
Don't-
baseball too. I need to watch.
Don't question how the Oakland A's did after Billy Bean showed up.
Don't Google.
Don't Google what happened.
They haven't done great in many movies.
They haven't
many
done great
years.
in many decades.
many decades.
Like the A's haven't been good since Ricky Henderson was stealing bases for them. So,
every time we're like, hey, do we want to go to a Giants game? We're like, yeah, but let's get A's tickets for when the Giants and the A's play because they're like half the price.
at the Coliseum.
We'll go to Oakland instead of San Fran. Yeah.
Go to the Coliseum before they knock it down.
Exactly.
Like-
It's not gonna. They're not gonna knock it down. It's just gonna fall down. That thing is falling apart. They have half of the outfield seats like board. Like they've been covered for 10 years because
Yo.
they don't want people sitting up there.
People haven't cared about the Coliseum since football was played there when the Raiders
Right,
were playing there.
What
Um,
pulled
You guys were
What up,
bringing up
LD?
Moneyball, and unless I'm going insane, I swear we have a Reels Like the First Time coming out soon with Moneyball. I just don't remember who the guest was. I thought maybe it was one that we already released, but we haven't.
Is it
yet.
Brad Pitt?
Yeah, Brad Pitt is joining us for Reels
Brad
Like
Pitt is joining us for. I thought she already did Moneyball.
I thought she did, but maybe it's one of those things where she told us, and it was like 3 weeks before it gets posted.
Oh,
By the way,
did
if you
you
guys-
leak it? Did you leak that she's doing Moneyball?
No, I would never do
Shout out
that.
to Allison Salamoni.
It'd be incredibly unprofessional of me to do.
Go! Everyone who already isn't listening or watching to Reels Like the First Time, please go do so.
Go
Yeah,
do
these
it.
guests.
Allison puts a ton
Tyler
of work on those
Liebelman,
podcasts.
Janine the Machine for those for the Schmodown days, and then Hal Rudnick from Screen Junkies.
Oh my
Nick and
God.
Lon Harris.
Double Indemnity. Yeah, I got Lon Harris, Eric Mueller, PLD, who's currently in the chat right now on The Abyss, American Graffiti, yeah, all kinds of stuff. Movie guys have been on here like 3 times.
So many times.
There's
All the movie
practically
guys.
co-hosts. at
I
this
will
point.
say, without spoiling who it is, we have a big Star Wars podcaster coming on soon. They just messaged me all their stuff so I can make the overlays for, I believe, next week or the week after.
Is it me? Am I doing it?
Yes, you're a huge Star Wars podcaster. Just FYI.
Maddie
News to
Sutter
you.
finally coming on Reels Like the First Time. Can't wait.
Maddie's finally showing up.
What? Speaking of Star Wars, is that a good segue?
Didn't you go to a Cubs game just the other day?
Yeah. No. Screw Star Wars. We can talk about that later. No, I did. I did go to a Cubs game. Went to Wrigley Field. It was the second game of the year. Because the opening day was on a Thursday. My mom was 74th birthday yesterday.
That's a brutal stat.
I'm sorry, as a Cubs fan, apologies. Best baseball game ever played was on a Wednesday in Cleveland, and it was great. But no, the Cubs game they lost. Unfortunately, they lost to the Brewers. But I love my Cubs, love my Cubbies, and I sat I want to say 15 rows behind home plate. It was awesome.
Nice.
It was great time. Loved it. Love baseball.
This
Pay
might
for
be.
the tickets and peanuts.
No peanuts, not for me.
No.
What about peanuts and Cracker Jacks?
Nope, not for Cree. Nope.
Star
Wars.
What'd you say? Star Wars? That's an underrated alien movie. Not a lot.
I don't
Rise
know
of Skywalker.
if this is a too oddly specific question, but is there, if you can't think of a movie in a genre you don't watch a lot of that you absolutely adore? The reason I said that is you guys were talking about sports, and I thought about how much I enjoyed the movie Fever Pitch, and I'm not a sports guy.
When they rewrote the end of the movie.
Yeah,
Great one. It's a great one.
Wait,
Very
William, The Abyss about aliens? I haven't seen it yet.
A movie in a genre I don't watch that often, but I love the movie.
So the first thing you can think of is I think the easiest way to think about it is think of a genre you don't pay a lot of attention to, and think of a movie you saw there. I think it's easy. Like
Okay.
maybe if you don't like musicals, then you narrow it down to that, and then there's
Probably
one.
musicals, actually. That's not even a bad
Okay.
choice right there. I love music.
So I would say I don't watch a lot of westerns, but does Shanghai Noon count? Because that's my shit.
Oh, that's a good one. Westerns. I don't watch too many westerns. I'm trying to think of like a mobster. I'm not a big fan of mobster or crime movies. But I'm trying to think that I don't even.
Have you seen Departed or anything like that?
No.
The Departed.
Never seen Departed, Godfather, Goodfellas, Casino, any of that shit.
I've seen Gangster Squad.
If we're counting,
Have you seen American Gangster?
No. If we're counting like crime movies for this trilogy, the Ocean's flicks, those count?
Sure. Yeah. If that's
Heist films.
yeah, those are kind of more like heist.
They're
less
okay.
crime. It's like a heist comedy. You know.
Okay, then never mind. Then disregard that. I'll piggyback off of Jesse's westerns, and I'll say The Harder They Fall.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Because I love that movie. Love the cast. The cast led by name redacted, and I was
Idris Elba. Why'd
we
you
love
redact-
him.
Why'd
We
you
love
redact
that.
Regina King? Why'd you
We
redact
love her.
name? I don't understand.
Are you talking about the Academy Award winning Regina King?
Yeah, exactly.
No, we love those movies.
feel
And you know
like
how the
there's-
bad guy in that movie was name redacted.
There's definitely a major hole in this casting.
Right. I asked my stepdad, Jonathan, what he thought of The Harder They Fall. And no, Harder They Fall is a great one. It's a really good movie, and I am eager to see More. I forget the director's name, but I know he's doing some newer stuff that I'm very eager to see. And plus, Kid Cudi was on the soundtrack, so I can't complain.
Oh, there you go. Am I the only person that saw that new
James Samuel? That's his name.
Magnificent Seven movie? Because I thought that was pretty.
No,
fun.
I saw it. I thought it was fun. I'd never seen the original or Seven Samurai. I've never seen that either, which it's based off. But I thought it was fun for like a modern audience. Like with a lot of names we would know nowadays.
Like it was
James
overall
Samuel.
kind
For
of
those
forgettable,
wondering,
but
James
it's fine.
Samuel directed The Harder They Fall.
Thank you.
But I did
wondering.
like the Magnificent Seven remake. I did.
Yeah,
Didn't love it, but I liked
I
it.
thought Vincent D'Onofrio was a riot
Yeah.
in that movie.
Right,
He was hilarious.
bear dude.
Yeah, that was
good.
when I was like, that's when I was like, Chris Pratt can do no wrong. Boy, did that age like milk.
Speaking of Chris Pratt, like the Mario movie, I thought for you think that it might be jarring if you're used to playing Mario games where he talks a lot, but I mean if you think about it in video games, they're not talking a lot anyway. I think you get so used to his voice very 5 minutes into the movie where you're just kind of on board for the rest.
Wahoo!
Right. Well,
I think-
and the original voice actor has a part in the film too.
Oh, Charles Martinet, right?
Yeah,
Saying
Marionette.
Heart is generous.
He has a cameo, I guess.
He's in there. Yeah.
He's in
Does
there
he? I'm
twice.
assuming he supplies a bunch of other voices for things.
Probably.
So actually, no, he does have a role in there because I believe he not only plays the one that you mentioned, but I believe he's also the voice of Mario's dad.
Mario's dad is in this movie.
Yeah, he sounds like him. I think.
Mario and
Mario.
Luigi's father.
So you know what? It really bothers me that they don't address that they addressed in the '90s movie. Is in
Their
the
last
90s
name.
movie, exactly. They ask him what their last name is. He's like, "I'm a Mario. This is my brother Luigi Mario."
So
Yeah.
So both of y'all have seen the Super Mario Brothers movie. I have not.
Mhm.
But
Go
so
see
when you
D&D.
walked out,
One movie this week. Go see D&D.
seriously, what? I mean, disregard how good D&D was, but should I rush out to see Super Mario?
See
No,
D&D
it'll-
first.
D&D first. Mario will be in theaters for weeks on end.
Also-
it's making all the money right now.
I don't think you lose a lot of the experience not seeing Mario. Like, if you had to choose, I only have time to see one movie for like between the two in theaters. Go see D&D. I think it's more of a theatrical experience than
Okay.
Mario is.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try to see John Wick hopefully before it leaves theaters on Monday.
And I'm not
Hopefully
going to tell you Mario's bad. It's just an
My kids are
elimination
in school
movie.
Monday. Fuck.
I'm texting my
Damn it,
brother.
I'm gonna be
who's-
stuck with my stupid kids all day.
I'm texting my brother, my 10-year-old brother, because he went to go see Mario last night. I'm asking him. I doubt he's
Oh,
awake.
okay.
But
How
I'm
many
like,
brothers
what
do you
did
have?
think? Just one.
How many siblings? Okay, just the one.
Yeah, just the one. I have one sibling.
Oh shit, Air too.
he's 10.
Yeah. I thought
But-
Air was coming to
Air,
streaming. I didn't realize it was in
shit.
theaters until today.
Shit.
'Cause I wanna
Air.
I want to see
Air.
Tetris as well. Tetris came out and I heard that was great.
That's on the Apple. Yeah.
That's on the Apple. I thought Air was also streaming, but I was wrong.
It's going to be
I
on
think.
Amazon in a month and a half, I think.
Oh, okay. I think I don't know what the full title was. Was it Pinball Wizard? No, it was
What
The
you
Man
call
Who
me?
Saved the Game. Something. There was a pinball movie as well. I don't know where it's streaming. Let me Google. It's with Mike Faust. He was in West Side Story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he plays the pinball.
He was
guy.
a scene stealer, that Mike
Yeah,
Faust.
Mike Faust, he was like the leader of the Jets, right?
Yeah.
Pinball, the Man Who Saved the Game. That's what it was called.
Yeah, no.
where's
He's really
that?
good in West Side Story. Like, he's very good in West Side Story.
Can we start
$7.
showing respect to Steven Spielberg again? Because like both West Side Story and Fablemans did not make dick for profit,
No, they didn't.
and they're both really excellent.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's weird. I'm assuming the Spielberg not
Yeah, William. I
take
should.
the kids to John Wick.
Yeah, there's
I'm,
a family.
I'm,
in there.
I'm gonna take him to Mario and just tell him, all right, sit here twice because it's half the length of John.
Double the
Wick."
runtime.
Mario's.
Here.
That's one thing I
Just
can say. It's a
Stay
tight
in the
movie.
theater. It is.
Go.
It is.
Yo, so no one likes Mario.
No,
Oh,
that's not.
I loved it. It was great. I do like D&D more. I agree with Jesse.
I'm
Okay.
just trying. I'm just trying to get your priorities in order.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Mario's fine, but you also have missed like 3 better movies
Right.
that are
Okay.
still in theaters.
Okay.
I really like Mario a lot, and it's in the trailer. It's not usually like
Sean's
when
probably the
they
most
get-
positive I've seen a reaction from Mario. For the
Well,
record.
when they get into the Mario Kart phase, right when they're getting
Uh-huh.
in the cars, my son, like he was sitting 2 seats over, I could see him cheer. He hasn't cheered in forever in a movie. But he was like, yeah, like he was like excited.
That's
like he was like, all for it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely it's playing to the kids, and I think that the low runtime and which I think has been a detriment to a lot of critics with where there's a lack of depth to each of the story beats that you hit. I think that plays into the lack of attention span for kids nowadays.
And
because when you watch a kid's show, it's just moving from one scene to one scene. There's just cut, right? They don't spend too much time on any storylines, right? That's what this Mario movie is. They don't spend any time on, they need, oh, you're bored of this story? Cool. Move on to the next one. Like,
it's the difference between Illumination and Pixar, right? Like it's still a movie that adults can watch and have a good time with, but like Pixar offers you a bit more, where Illumination is giving you like enough that you don't hate it, but the kids will love it. And that's what I feel like for most of the, because like the thing I've actually liked the most from Illumination has been the 2 Sing movies. I like those more than Despicable Me, Minions, or any of it. I'm
in the camp where I think Pixar makes movies that I think Pixar makes flicks that appease to both adults and children. And from Illumination, like I'm a big fan of Despicable Me. The first 2, I think they're really fun. I think shit, even the third one's fun. I like all 3 of them. But like the Minion stuff as of late and the
Rise of Gru.
Yeah, like the Rise of Gru. Yeah. Like I'm like hard pass. Thank you, but no thank you. Secret Life of Pets, more like Secret Life of Mid. And the Sing movies, I've only seen the first one. Can't comment on the second one.
That was pretty great.
I heard it was fun, but Illumination is geared towards children, is strictly children. So what else did we expect out of Mario? Did we expect it to have like this? Oh my god!
I think that's why I did have fun with it.
Mike, we talk animation. Mike shows up.
I had fun with the movie, and I went in with really low expectations because so many people were crapping on it. And I was like, no, this is fine. I think the weird thing about Mario is that it's both the people that are really loving on it. I'm kind of surprised. I feel like it's getting a little overloved and overhated at the same time. Yeah. I feel like all the emotions surrounding Mario are too aggressive on both sides.
I think I agree.
So my brother, I texted my brother who is wide awake. It's 11 o'clock. But I said, hey, little brother, what do you think of the Mario movie? He said, it was great. I said, what was your favorite part? I think he texted me a spoiler. I'm pretty sure. And I don't want to say it out loud.
Is it Peaches?
No, it has nothing to do with Peach.
Oh, okay.
It has something to do with Mario and Luigi taking a star. And
yeah, okay, that's cool.
That's definitely a spoiler.
Yeah,
he just the end of the 3rd act. Don't worry about it.
Okay, great. And he described to me exactly what happened in the 3rd act.
When they do this, and they do this, and they do this, and they do that.
And that's the credits.
There's a whole thing. But the
so the Sing movies are. I think going back to your other question.
Yes.
No, you finish your talk. I'm gonna change the subject.
This is what I'm talking about. Like my brother's 10. Like the movie's geared towards kids like that, and it worked. Me or us, all 3 of us who grew up with Mario. Maybe some of us thought they'd have a little bit of both. Where like it'd be like, oh yeah, for us, the older crowd who grew up with Mario, while my people like my brother or Sean's kids, like they can also enjoy it as well. And maybe folks have gotten a little too passionate, or they expected the Pixar. But my brother's reaction is exactly what I thought this movie was going to be, and I'm not surprised. And now I apparently can't go see it because he told me what happened.
Yeah, you can still go see it.
So, Chris, did you see Creed 3?
Creed? Yes, I did see Creed.
Creed. I'm just running. You haven't seen John Wick. You didn't go and see RRR when it back in theaters for a week.
I saw it on the thing on the Netflix.
Yeah, well, I definitely went and saw it in theaters.
I tried. They wasn't playing anywhere near me for theaters.
3 hours in the movie theater, dude. That's the reason I haven't seen John Wick yet. That's the reason why. I haven't seen it, and I already know that movie's too damn long.
I saw 65 this month, last month. I continuously forgot that I saw it.
See, and who was it? You, Jesse Swift, the one that was gassing up that damn movie? And
that wasn't the only one. Listen.
I chose Cocaine Bear instead of 65.
I regret not seeing Cocaine Bear in theater.
We can't decide if that was a good decision.
Yeah, I'm still not. I mean, Cocaine Bear was fine. It was funny. It was exactly as advertised. So
Mike, I'm a media slacker. I see you, Mike.
All right, wait, listen.
it was definitely packed. Mike, I don't know if you heard what I was basically I was saying, like, I think it's catered to the lack of attention audience of a child, where especially in media nowadays, where it's like, cool, you're bored with this, don't worry, we're moving on to the next thing. We're moving on. They never stay too long on one subject matter. I think that's kind of how the Mario movies made.
Okay.
What was it? That it is possible. I mean, a lot of critics, I feel like, might be. I didn't dive into any of their reviews, but I feel like they were reviewing a movie that they were like, who did you think this movie was for? Like that's
the problem with people
hearing some of the reviews. I don't know.
Being paid to do reviews is unfortunately when things like Mario come out. And it's like, all right, you're paid to review this movie. You have to review it. You're poking them with like a cattle prod to review something they're not interested in. So yeah,
True.
they're going to shit all over it because they have to.
True.
I was just really quickly going to go down, and you might get a crack at a giggle out of this. But the movies I've seen most recently, obviously, Super Mario Brothers, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, Dungeons and Dragons sneak preview, John Wick Chapter 4, Dungeons and Dragons Amazon Prime early showing, Shazam: Fury of the Gods.
Have you seen D&D thrice?
I have seen D&D thrice.
3 times. Yeah.
Oh
he
my
loved
god!
It was
And
good.
then
I liked it a lot.
65 and RRR, and then Creed 3. It's
I gotta
March
go
is good.
see. I'm gonna go. I might go see D&D tomorrow.
You should.
Good, do it.
I got nothing going on tomorrow.
Vapion. So 3 of my favorite games of all time. I grew up in the Super Nintendo generation. So Zelda: A Link to the Past, Super Mario RPG, and Super
Force
Metroid,
Gemini.
all for Super Nintendo.
Okay.
And The Secret of Evermore. If anyone else has ever played that, it's one of my favorite games of all time. There was 0 reference to Super Mario RPG, and it was a shame. Maybe in the sequel. I don't know. We'll see. But I thought it would have been a good time.
But apparently, there's something with Mario and Luigi and a star. I guess.
Speaking of mustache,
I will not
and
say what my brother said.
we got one of the best mustaches in the space here waiting down below in our, what do you call this, the lobby? I don't know. What's up to Paul?
Hey, yo!
GG,
It's Plid.
Hey yo, what's up, everybody?
What's
Buddy.
going on? PLD, what's a movie that you saw way too young that you your parents showed it to you, or you watched it out of your way where you said I should not be watching this?
Just
Well,
say
I
Gone
know
with the Wind, right?
The very
Took you-
first, I am almost that old. Almost that old.
They took you to the theaters to see The Wizard of
It
Oz
was
when it first
Charlie
released.
Universal's
Chaplin.
Dracula.
I will say, I'm not sure if. I don't think my parents showed it to me. I think I might have snuck it out on my own, or maybe I watched it like from the background. My father didn't know I was watching. I was about, I don't know, let me see, 7 or 8 old, and I watched The Shining.
Nice.
And that first of all, I loved horror. I'm now a big horror fan for the rest of my life. I became a huge horror fan. That's why I love horror on all sides. But I definitely fucked me up as a kid. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was that those 2 little girls scared the hell out of me. I was scared of twins for at least 20 years, I think.
To me, it was the blood in the elevator. Like that was another one that I watched with my grandma, no less. And she had no idea what the hell was going on. But like me, it's like, this movie's terrifying. The whole third act is batshit. Like,
Yeah, I think I saw I was one of those weird, like, I'm gonna really make everybody feel a little uncomfortable here, but I don't care. I had that weird little weird horror / sexual awakening with like that freaky old chick in the hotel room. Like, I remember a little kid, I'm like, those are boobies. But then she got all freaky, all sorts of freaked out. I was like, what the hell is this? I was like girls for like at least 2 years after that. So.
Do you remember the ghost in the 13th Ghost, the naked, the 13th Ghost? Was it the naked princess or something? What was her?
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I vague remember that.
Is that the Matthew
that
Lillard
came out
movie?
in high school. Yeah, he's in it. Yeah, and Tony Shalhoub. Yeah.
Yes, I do remember that. I also saw it once, like when it came out. I haven't
Yeah,
seen it.
that and Night of the Living Dead 3, because
Nice.
that had some naked zombies.
You know,
I
it's
love how
funny.
Sean's pulling up all the late 90s horror flicks.
Okay,
My
I
aunt
have
was
to
a
touch.
very.
I have to touch on this. Is it late enough Friday to ask this question, since we're talking about like our first with movies?
Uh-oh.
We don't have to get into crazy detail, but what is
Uh-oh.
the first film you remember seeing nudity in?
Oh,
I already answered.
Mine's so random. It's so random.
Team
Mine was
America
The
World
Shining.
Police.
Technically, it was The Shining, I guess, for me. I guess.
No, it was The Shining. Okay, Sean, you said yours already.
I mean, I think it would have to be Night of the Living Dead 3, but like I said earlier, Striptease. That's the first one I saw.
Hamburger, the motion picture. Is another one I was really I saw really young.
Is it Hamburger the motion picture?
Hamburger, the motion picture. Yes.
What the hell? What even is that?
What the ham?
It's like this weird, like Mad Magazine kind of movie where like this guy is like a down out loser kind of guy or whatever, and he gets like rejected from every college in the world, or every college in the world. He's accepted by one college, and it's like Hamburger University. They go basically, it's almost like a college for fast food employees. It's a bizarre.
Did you watch the movie way too late on Cinemax or something?
Yes, it was definitely a Cinemax. Not quite after dark Cinemax.
Not Skinemax.
Not Skinemax. It was like the movie they would show before Skinemax.
You know the classic
Like the
Randy
foreplay?
Brooks film, Chuck McCann, Deborah Blee, Lee McCloskey. You know, Dick
There was a point-
Butkus.
Dick Butkus.
Dick Butkus?
Yes, Dick
Butkus?
Butkus was in there. That was my favorite part of the movie. I was like, 'cause I'm a
Chicago
Bears
Bears
fan.
legendary linebacker Dick Butkus is
Yeah,
in
he
this
played
movie?
like he played the kind of like the antagonist. He was like the
He played
asshole,
Drew-
like taskmaster.
Drew.
Like if you want to like compare it to anybody, he was like George Bailey in Police Academy. He was like the Captain Harris of the Hamburger series of the
I'm
Hamburger.
trying to remember the first movie I saw nudity in. Does Team America World Police count?
Okay. So
There is a very vivid sex scene that I will never
It
forget.
is. It is.
my
I don't know.
I
first
don't remember.
Go ahead, Nick. Okay, Jess.
my first movie, it was a 2004 film. So I was, sorry PLD, 11. And
my second kid was born in 2004. Just so you know.
I was obviously still in school. I loved myths like Sasquatch, Loch Ness
Oh,
Monster,
okay.
stuff like that. And so there was a movie came out,
Harry
By-
and the Hendersons.
very famous Werner Herzog, called
Oh.
Incident at Loch Ness. And it was a whole like found footage movie with Werner Herzog, and Zach Penn helped write it. And they were trying
Zach
to get
Penn?
yeah.
Okay.
In the movie they're trying to get they're trying to put some spice in their documentary, so they like hire a hottie to be part of their documentary, and they have her go skinny dipping in the Loch Ness in 2004. So I was 11 and I was like, boobs.
I don't remember if there's nudity in it. But I know Idle Hands was one where I was like,
Mhm.
what's going on here? Like, but American Pie, is that like
Oh
Is
yeah,
that,
I mean
like-
that was 99
like
or
I
probably 2000 when it came out.
I mean, I watched that way later again when I was on TV, because in '99 I was 2, so obviously I didn't know what the
Yeah.
hell was going on. But I watched it later, and I'm like, American Pie. This is intriguing, like this movie.
Shannon Elizabeth, I think, awoken a lot of young men's hearts.
Speaking of scary movie, yeah.
yeah,
Police Academy. That was it. Oh, Lake
Paul,
Forest.
are you whoring around? Where else have you been?
I was just on my channel. I mean, I guess I was in the chat of Scoundrels. I made myself known in the chat. I thought I was on anything.
You gotta talk Star Wars.
What's up to
PLD's
Rob
here.
and Vanessa? How are you guys doing?
Plus, we're an hour deep. We have not mentioned Star Wars once.
I will say
Was-
Police
was that-
Academy does want to throw that in. Police Academy was also my sexual awakening. The weirdest part that it's like there's 2 minutes of nudity. Like there's the cop looking at the girls in the shower, and then there's like a party sequence where all of a sudden they're all drinking, all the girls just start taking off their shirts. And it was like, as a kid, I'm just
What
like,
movie is this?
oh, Police
Police
Academy, the
Academy.
original
I-
Police Academy.
I saw Porky's at way too young an age. I'm pretty sure there's some
Porky's.
nudity in that movie.
I do want to shout out late to the party since they're here and tell them how much I appreciated this Admiral Thrawn, the back of your head is ridiculous tweet. I thought that was just incredible taste.
That was great.
You know who else is ridiculous? Colin Morris.
Hey,
Colin
Somebody.
Morris. What was the first movie that you watched and you're like, I'm way too young to be watching this right now?
It was the club scene of Charlie's Angels Full Throttle in theater with my aunt and uncle and their friends that
That's
were
hot.
in town. That was also the weekend I played Enter the Matrix on PS2 for the first time.
I saw Charlie's Angels for the first time a matter of months ago, and it was like a sexual reawakening.
Oh, it's incredible. It's honestly
The first one or
like,
Full
such-
Throttle, though?
it's
Oh,
that one
I watched them
again?
back to back.
I watched
Tom
Charlie's
Green
Angels.
just did it for you. Tom Green was your man.
It was all Tom Green.
I've never seen Charlie's
It was
Angels. Should I
actually
watch it
Sam
tonight?
Rock.
I mean, Sam Rockwell has some hips. He's moving.
Crispin
He's
Glover.
dancing.
Come on, Crispin Glover.
Yo, yeah, Crispin Glover, that hottie. Are we kidding? But let's not all sit here and act like we all don't have crushes on Sam Rockwell. All 5 of us,
Love Sam
like,
Rockwell.
incredible.
Who
What a
has seen Seven Psychopaths? That's another one I watched for the first time this year.
I have
Fantastic.
not.
Fantastic.
Seven Cycle, is that the McDonough joint?
Yeah, it was his first movie.
Yeah,
Martin
right.
McDonough.
After Banshees, I watched all of Martin's movies this year, and I regret none of it.
Like, I regret nothing. He cost me.
Excellent.
He almost cost me the Oscar pool. We were running, and because I had him as a lock for screenplay, but he did not. It did not go to him.
I had him as a lock for several. Yeah, I blew my Oscar pool so hard.
They didn't win anything.
So I'm seeing something, Sean, in the chat. You don't believe that Voyage of the Rock Aliens is a real movie?
Yeah, that's what I put up there. No one. I've never
It's-
heard of this.
Absolutely a real movie.
Williams making up movies.
No, it is absolutely a real movie.
I have to Google
It's
this.
like it's a spaceship that's like a guitar shape, and they're like a rock band. I think the rock band's called Rima or something like that.
Oh, it's rock as in like music.
Music. Oh yeah. It's bizarre as hell. I know what Peter Sedora's in it. Peter Collins voices
Greg
it.
Sheffer.
Peter Collins voices
One Tree Hills, Craig Sheffer. Wasn't he the uncle in One Tree Hills?
Music by Jack White. Excuse
Yeah, he
me.
is.
Jack.
Oh, not that Jack White.
Okay,
No,
no,
not
Literally
That's a
every time somebody
1904.
says Jack White,
So it can't be that Jack White.
Wait, so are we gonna talk about Star Wars or what?
we might.
That's the only
but you
reason
got
I
on here,
know
so
it.
we started out to.
Eventually.
Have you guys?
Eventually.
Did you guys remember
I have-
Celebrity Deathmatch on like is it MTV or Comedy Central, whatever it was?
Ooh,
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Love that.
100%.
Claymation.
With
Whenever I think
Judge
of Jack
Mills
White,
Lane.
I think of
Yes.
Jack Black versus Jack White on Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yo, Celebrity Deathmatch used to scare the shit out of me because I used to think
That's
that
fair.
shit was like not real,
Like
but I
real?
thought it was like
No, you thought it was real.
I thought it was, like,
I thought it was
hyper-realistic.
real.
Jesse,
Like,
you
too
still
much.
haven't seen the Jack Black classic Airborne, have you?
No, that's
Who else
probably
has
one of
seen
the old-
Airborne?
I don't even know what
Has
that
anyone
is.
seen Airborne? No, the rollerblading movie.
It's crazy how Sean thought he was gonna
love-
get just
I-
Jesse with that.
I had enough Airborne with COVID.
I thought at
I'm
least
not
PLD
really-
was on my side.
Sean's
I'm trying to
somehow
think
became the
about it.
weird
Jack
one.
Black was in it?
Jack Black, Seth Green, what's the main guy's name? I remember his
Seth
character's
Green,
name was
Idle
Mitchell
Hands? Are we
Goosen.
still talking about Idle Hands?
Oh,
he's in the movie.
just like early
Has
90s.
Allison seen Idle
Yeah,
Hands?
it's like 93. Yeah.
Okay, I vaguely remember. I do vaguely remember it. I remember seeing it.
Yeah,
like once.
93. I was correct. Yeah.
Have you guys seen the Jack Black
Shane
classic
McDermott?
Neverending Story 3?
Yes, I have. Never-Ending Story
Wait,
1 was
what?
one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. Like I had a
Yeah, oh, yeah.
crush on the princess
course.
for like years. And I watched Neverending Story 2 and convinced myself it was a good movie when I was a kid. I realized later I was wrong. Then I watched Neverending Story 3 and I never even tried to convince myself that was good. But it is what it is.
There is another princess for us to be crushed on here soon, and it's not Peach, it's Florence Pugh as the Princess Irulan in Dune Part 2.
Indeed.
I'm very excited for that.
Speaking of
I'm
Dune, is this the
much
part
more
where we
excited.
talk about Star Wars?
No, this is the part where we talk about
Star Wars.
this is the part where we
Speaking of-
talk about Chris, who hasn't seen the Sandman still.
Speaking of space,
I did see
spices,
Sandman, by the way, Jesse. I did watch
Wait,
it. I don't
when?
know if you told me
When?
that. I did. Like
I
a
still
couple-
haven't
like a
finished
month
it.
ago. I did
Couple
watch
months
it a
ago?
month ago.
Can I get a 30 seconds? Because I haven't gotten to talk to anybody that's watched it recently. What do you think?
Okay, I absolutely loved it. My wife and I got into it really quickly.
Love that.
We of course we love Doctor Who, so we loved Jenna Coleman in it.
Did you like the kind of broken up almost chapter way
Yes.
that's kind of told? There's like multiple stories because he's
Absolutely,
like
I
the Lord
enjoyed
of stories.
it.
Okay,
Yeah,
I won't get
I
into
enjoyed
it, but I'm so glad you loved it. So glad
What'd you feel about episode 6 that made you cry on camera?
Which one was the episode? I don't
That's
remember.
Death's episode.
the sound of her wings.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was
Yeah,
a good. It made me cry off camera.
Oh yeah. Shout out to our Sandman reactions. Go back and watch our Sandman reaction where you
They
can
did
see me
very
cry and then
well,
Allison
to be
freak out
honest.
at the end.
And I think I can say this out loud. I'm gonna do a Sandman live stream one of these days. So I just watch Sandman the entire time.
Just gonna be
Dude,
watching.
like
I'm
a
just gonna
whole
pop in and out of it. Yeah.
It's gonna be a whole thing. But it's gonna happen one of these days, so Jesse could get off my back.
All proceeds go to
Damn
charity.
Sandman. all proceeds are gonna fund my alcohol fueled bender.
Into that.
When I get done watching Sandman, and the pure joy and bliss I'll have of
Will it
Jesse Swift not reminding me that I haven't
Will
seen
it
Sandman.
motivate you any more if we tell you that the therapist from Ted Lasso is in the Sandman?
Yeah, Sharon.
Yeah.
She plays a part in about 3 episodes or so in the first half of the series.
I thought you were gonna
Oh, I know
say
what
the
I was
therapist, and my brain went into Shrinking, the other Apple TV Plus
Oh,
show
no.
that everyone should be watching.
Yes. Yes, I should.
Because
I haven't watched it
because I am in love with Jessica Williams.
Harrison Ford, it might be Harrison Ford's best performance in years, honestly.
Harrison Ford
Jesse,
is
take me out for a
so
spin.
good in Shrinking.
He
So good.
It's because he's surprised. It's like a surprising character for him in a way. It's just very different from his usual characters, so it makes it that much, even that much better.
Oh yeah,
What's
He's
her
hilarious.
name?
I'm doing Harrison. I'm talking about Harrison Ford.
Harrison
No,
Ford.
Chris, you said something Williams.
Jessica Williams. She's in Booksmart. You might know her. What else has she done? She was on a Daily Show for a long time. For fans of the Daily Show.
She played the American Auror in Fantastic Beasts.
Yes.
Yes,
It's a
yes.
good
She's
Allie.
also Fantastic Beasts.
Allie Hicks.
Mhm.
You should know that character name, Sean.
Yeah, I'm not studying. I watched that movie once.
Yeah, practice.
Fantastic
I know
Beasts.
well out of practice.
Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yeah.
You better get ready when I invite you down to the subscriber down. You might have to have the interview come back.
It'll be an easy match for anyone who wants to participate. Sign up for the Patreon.
Hey, that sounds like a
You can
challenge.
beat me one day.
I'll
now
beat
that-
anyone
now that-
off at a subscriber. thon.
You'll never beat me off. Don't even.
Now that Colin's gone, we should talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Stop.
So
Is this part we talk about Star
am
Wars?
ready for
We talk about
Kathleen
mommies.
Kennedy to find a new studio to produce.
That's who I should have put on the thumbnail. Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh yeah, you should have. Damn, look how good my hair looked in the
Alright.
picture.
Well, we're gonna let Colin.
Let's
Yeah.
bring it back for a return.
Remember, Colin.
Wait, no, let's talk about
take
Barbie
learning. Frame rate
before we
was
talk
off.
about Star Wars.
My camera was still in I shoot baseball for a living mode. And I was like, why do I look so weird? And it was because I was in 60. I was in 60 frames in 1080p and it looked really weird and my camera was off. And now I figured out why I was wrong. All right, I'm good. We're good here.
We're all fine here. How are you?
We're all fine here. We
Now
talked
that
enough
Colin's
Peach.
back,
We
let's
can
talk about
definitely move on.
Barbie.
To
Yo,
Star
this was like
Wars.
the best morning in the bathroom ever. Like, I just have to say, like, that's how I saw it.
But
Because
the Barbie
like,
trailer,
I totally
oh.
forgot, and then I woke up at like a normal hour, and then bang! All of a sudden, the world was right, and there was just like the best clutter of Twitter ever for a Star Wars fan. It was finally a happy time, whether or not like they gave
Now
you
give it 3
everything you
months.
wanted from all stretches of the galaxy. No matter if you're like, oh my god, let me get some stuff that I didn't even know I wanted, or if they're like, let me embellish some stuff, and then let me, expand on some stuff that some people like. They helped everybody today, whether or not you were an Old Republic fan, a New Republic fan, a sequel fan.
I had to have a whole pack of cigarettes after Celebration was done today.
The end of PLD's live stream was just him laying back. Just like,
Yes. And down the
Guys.
pans like Homer Simpson style.
guys, is anyone else feeling this?
Feeling me here? You feeling me?
I watched the whole thing. It was a good time.
That's-
I didn't see any of the news because I woke up to just our group text going, Indy dropped, Ahsoka dropped, and I'm like, I'm in my underwear. I'm trying to get ready for work. Like I have to leave in 30 minutes. I need to get ready for work. And so
Which,
so
by the
Jesse and I
way,
hopped
plug,
on
plug,
real
plug.
quick. Yeah, Jesse and I hopped on real quick and did an Ahsoka trailer reaction. So if you're watching this, go back and watch that. Please like that video and comment.
Shout out to Matt over on Watt for low key being the first person
He was
that
when I was
subbed
looking through my
to
feed.
on YouTube that posted a reaction. There was
It's
no
nice
one
being on
else.
different
It
time
hit at
zones, isn't
such a weird time.
It was 3 in the morning Pacific, I think.
Yeah,
So it was like
the panel
yeah.
started at 6:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Sorry, at 6
And if
a.m.
you were up at 6:30 a.m. Eastern,
6 a.m.
good
I was there.
on you.
I live streamed
Yeah.
a reaction, like a thread, and I was at 6 a.m. till 7:30 a.m. I was trying to get Matty Gunner, who's at Celebration, on, but no, unfortunately, the signal was weak, I guess.
No correspondent.
What a wild thing, because have we not been for like, I felt like Star Wars of all of Star Wars and Marvel, but mainly just DC, mainly just Disney properties are so transparent. It had seemed for so many years of you get what we give you, and we didn't even get like the fuck you, you're gonna like have to like take a black screen or a Photoshop that somebody worked on for 5 minutes for the 5 minutes that this trailer is gonna run, and then you're gonna get to hear everything. You didn't even get that. Like for everybody else, we had to parcel through. Like poor Alex and Molly over there didn't get. I'm waiting all day. I gotta go to work at like 12:30 Eastern, and I'm like, where is Star Wars Explained? Somebody give me a video. And then they just rattle them off. And I didn't get it till I got home a little while ago. I'm still only like 2 minutes into the first video because I keep stopping to just like contemplate how much Star Wars we got today in actual. It makes Disney Plus Day from a few years ago actually feel.
Well, it feels like there's a plan now.
Real.
Bob Iger was back. Bob Iger was back. And like,
as Alex said, a timeline, my love language.
Yes, exactly. I think Bob Iger totally went, okay, we've been fucking
Don't
up
be
recently.
late to your other party.
Let's make sure we actually set things up. And I don't mean like a narrative plan. I mean, like, even just a plan of releasing things. Let's make this a big bang. We need to get this back and get the buzz back. We're going to drop everything we have, and we're going to tease the fuck out of you. Like Celebration's going to be. I mean, Celebration could really do nothing the rest of the weekend, and then like I think they have a big win because they got the buzz right now.
If they were going to drop one word for the timeline and everything, that announcement, it's Jedis are back, baby.
Jedis are back, baby. That's true.
That's the impression I got.
Did anybody watch any of the live stream? The Celebration live stream. I really enjoyed out of the ones that I saw, because they did basically the entire Acolyte cast.
Yep.
Like, and then leading up to the EP at the end.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
Daphne
Keane.
Yeah,
and Daphne Keane and and Jason from The Good Place.
Yes.
Manny Jacinto.
Yo, these three. There was a third dude. I never know. The
cast
third
is
dude.
very hot. They are a very good-looking bunch.
That was a good-looking group of people.
Nobody's talking about Amanda Stenberg.
One, I think the highlight of the day was realizing Daphne Keane.
I was gonna say she was dressed like that.
Lightsabers in production.
I guess Manny Jacinto, just listening to Alex and Molly, their video, he plays kind of like a scoundrel looking dude, like kind of like a bro-y type of character.
That's kind of
he basically sounds like Jason from The Good Place.
Yeah.
Just
smarter.
Yeah.
Like Bortles.
So did you? Apparently, the venue too. When you were talking about Maddie not having a reception, apparently the venue was wholly unprepared for this weekend's event.
Yeah.
Laura Kelly was just tearing him to shreds on Twitter.
Yeah.
I was looking up some of the video. She was quote tweeting other people who have deleted their tweets. So I wonder if like they're like, maybe I shouldn't shit on this event center.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it was it's like cramped up like a pack of sardine. Like they're just so tight up against each other and everything else. It's just ridiculous from what I've heard.
I was down in I went down to Anaheim in February for my daughter's cheer competition, and the Anaheim Convention Center, which is where all the cheer stuff is happening, is fucking huge. It's just ginormous, and there's multiple buildings, and it's a whole thing. And plus, there's so many hotels around because it's literally 100 yards away from Disneyland.
Right.
That's like what you need. I don't know the venue in London, but apparently it's just not great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I went to Orlando. It was pretty big. Celebration.
That Orlando Convention Center is insane.
Yeah,
at one point, I went there for a high school band trip. Not only were they able to house a Disney-run high school band event, but downstairs was an anime convention at the same time. Like Orlando is prepared. They understand the assignment. And I like Europe, you do music festivals very well. But from the London experiences, I think the last one was that the one where the Thrawn in Rebels announcement
Pretty sure that was that one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the one.
which was that was almost 8-9 years ago.
Did you guys see
you should be
Brian's Photoshop skills with Lars Mikkelsen?
Yes,
and
with the
Thrawn?
video is
that was like like
You
the
see that,
JFK assassination
No.
kind of thing. Like, just
Hang on, I'm gonna pull it up on Twitter.
yeah. I had it on Twitter earlier too. Let me see if I can find it.
Brian is such an amazing
I
talent.
retweeted
I love that
him.
dude. I love that dude. So amazing.
Is it Brian with a Y?
Yeah,
Yes.
basically pulling up Lars Mikkelsen's head and reversing it onto
The back of the
The
Thrawn's
back
head.
the back of Thrawn's
Yeah,
head.
and then
Like,
it's totally
turned it,
That's not nice.
Yeah,
matching up the ears. It's so good. It's so funny.
it's perfectly done. I got it right here.
You got it.
It's coming. Come on, StreamYards, you can do it. You can pull
So-
it through.
There you go.
I believe in you.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
is insane.
So yeah, he's like, yep, those ears line up absolutely perfectly. It's definitely him. I mean, I guess you could probably do it with anyone's head, right?
This is insane. I haven't seen this. This is nuts.
Okay, yeah.
It's pretty.
It-
It's pretty.
It totally works. It's absolutely him.
What? That's
Yeah.
Thrawn.
It, and
No.
he voiced Thrawn
He
in Rebels,
voiced it.
so
Yeah.
it makes sense. Like, hey, pull the live action characters if you can, right? If they're
I'm
willing
gonna
to
feel
do it.
really bad.
Bitching on Twitter.
I'm gonna feel terrible when they do it with everybody except for Ashley Eckstein.
No, no.
Well,
Because
literally,
it's
like,
literally everybody
fucking-
else has
Really?
gotten
Yeah,
Instead
no,
was
but-
it Hera?
Well,
not
Hera.
Sabine, not
Hera.
Sabine or Hera.
Hera.
Yes,
Like,
and
Sabine,
Hera both not.
Sabine or
Oh,
Hera.
that's true. That's true. Yeah. Okay. But I mean, up
Right.
until this
Chopper.
point,
In
it's Deb,
Chopper, dog?
Cad
Chopper don't
Bane.
do the voice for that.
Stop.
Dave Filoni, cash that check, daddy. Cash that chopper
No,
check.
I did forget who was playing Hera at first in the trailer when I was like, oh, they made Hera.
Oh, but then you
like,
see your
attractive.
face.
Yeah. I was like, oh, it's because it's Elizabeth or Mary Elizabeth.
Talk
Winstead.
about
Yeah, yeah.
casts that are very good looking. The Ahsoka
Ahsoka's cast is hot all the way around.
Dude, that cast is high as hell.
Mhm. Man, Chopper.
And that,
Ooh, that damn Chopper boy.
talk about
What-
spark plugs. You know what I'm
War
saying?
criminal. As my girlfriend's brother texted me this afternoon after he finally watched the trailer, he said America's favorite war criminal has
Chopper.
returned. Oh my God.
Chopper's an asshole. He can get crunched. I love the Rebels though. They're fantastic. What do you guys think of the orange lightsabers instead of the red that Rey
Awesome.
they
Man,
seem to
okay.
have? What,
Okay,
what
so
I thought my phone was just discolored. I'm like, that's a weird
No,
color, weird shade of
I-
red.
I
But
was
then
just
everyone
talking to
even
somebody-
was talking about it.
I was
Synthetic.
running into a friend
Okay.
at our local watering hole after work today, and he was telling me that in his friends group that was the main topic of conversation today.
Just the
Are those
lightsabers.
lightsabers orange?
I just want
But then I realized who he was talking about, and my whole thought after I saw the trailer went to work today, the thing that stuck out to me was the character who has no name, who
Balin.
was horse choking dudes,
The name is Balin.
just taking him out, no mercy. We see him with Ahsoka. That very clearly to me looks like a world between worlds
Mhm.
situation.
Absolutely.
And I don't mean to like assume that everyone's doing the same thing, but this really feels like the Into the Spider-Verse trailer, where I think
Okay.
Ahsoka may smudge up the timeline a little bit,
Oh,
and these people may
Oh,
be
fix the
released
sequel
because
trilogy.
that dude does not look like he's dressed for modern times.
mhm.
He seems very out of place, and blonde girl looks
Darth
like
Revan.
homegirl from the Halo show. So I need an explanation. She's been plucked from somewhere else, and I just don't believe it. And I think Ahsoka may be getting a bit too big for her britches and might accidentally mess up, and this dude might walk out of a portal and World Between Worlds he shouldn't
Jesse
have
and
walked
Chris
out
are
of.
so lost; they have no idea.
Could
what
be,
you're
but I will
They've
throw it
never
out
seen
there.
Rebels.
I will throw it out there.
Is.
I will throw it out there though that they obviously dropped the Heir to the Empire
Mhm.
name. I don't know if you've read those books or not.
Oh, absolutely.
so
Kept me-
I
kept
believe
me
this
going as a youth.
could be very well be the spiritual Jorah Sabaoth.
Oh, it is definitely
So-
the holy books of my youth.
That's what I'm saying. I think that
I
could
don't-
be that character, and because the character, if the character is a clone of a Jedi Master from the Clone Wars era, and so he is a clone, but he ends up going like insane. He gets like, cracked up, and he ends up like working with Thrawn for a bit, but then he like, turns on everybody. It's just really got a bizarrely out there, so that could explain where he comes from. He might be actually dressing up in the older school things. As far as the lightsaber goes, it might be a synthetic. Yes, Heir to the Empire.
Okay,
More,
But-
I will correct you.
so
It's
what
more
if
like
we
an
take-
error.
okay, there is
to the
cloning.
Empire.
but what if we meet in the middle and we go with the Disney popular, thing right now, a variant?
Yeah, it could be. That's possible. It
Someone
is
said
possible.
Luke. It's an alternate version of Luke,
Luke.
where he went bad, and so
Oh,
they
Well, there is a
different timeline
clone
Luke.
version of Luke in Heir to the Empire as well. There's a
Bigger. Is that the bigger Luke theory?
Bigger Luke.
Bigger
It's
Luke.
Bigger Luke. This could just be bigger Luke.
Could be bigger Luke. Ray Stevenson is a much bigger Luke.
What if it's like Avengers Endgame and Ahsoka is like at the birth. Iguta, and it's like, oh, let me just pluck a little bit from Luke right here, and boom, we have a clone.
I did hear another theory. I'll throw it out there. I believe it actually was Alex's theory. Alex and Molly threw it out there.
I have a completely different theory, but go ahead and continue.
World Between Worlds thing.
No.
Maybe this is Darth Bane being brought from the background. So Bane and his apprentice Darth Zana, so to speak. Maybe he had versions of that.
I think it'll be much simpler than that. My
It might be.
theory is just that doesn't a Sith, and I know these are supposed to be just dark Jedi or something, is what I read or heard, I think, on a video. Doesn't a Sith have to bleed their crystal to make it
true.
red? So maybe they're just not done bleeding the crystal. Maybe it's still in process of being bled, right?
Gotta let
so
the paint dry a little bit.
that's-
I thought that
that's-
was like a one-time thing.
that's
I
why
didn't
it's
think
orange.
That was like
I
a.
don't know.
It hasn't been very clear about what it is, to be honest.
I don't know what the
said
process
that,
is. Does the crystal bleed in a moment and boom, you got a red one? You went from blue to green to red or whatever the color was, right? Or is it a process, right? You kill enough people.
Is there not a Kylo
and it
Ren
goes,
comic
and
about this?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. Like, does your soul, your force soul, bleed the crystal to red or something? I don't know.
Sometimes when you furiously masturbate and you squeeze really hard, that's what it is.
When you're done
Beach
beaching off.
Yeah, when you beach off to your friend.
Chris and Jesse, what do you guys think before you head off? They're trying to ditch us for the night.
No, okay. So quickly,
Thoughts?
well, my Ahsoka, I gotta watch Rebels now.
Yeah,
I gotta watch.
That's
Now,
why I'm
like,
getting
I
off.
was-
I'm going to start Rebels right now.
I was
getting off and
avoiding
then
it.
watching Rebels.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Hey,
Gonna
do you
go
guys
job
want to
watch
start a
Nice.
podcast called Rebels and Chill?
yeah. The Rebels rewatch team.
There you
But
go.
watch this for the first time.
The that's now required viewing for me. I've always bitched about Star Wars, like, oh, like you gotta watch this to watch this, and now I'm succumbing to it. So
Chris,
Hey,
it would be fun if you
Ryan.
actually plan on watching Rebels. If you and I would touch base a couple times a month and just be like, this is what we thought of these first 10 episodes.
A month? You mean
Or
like
something.
a couple hours?
I don't want to
Like,
know what you got.
you can knock these out.
That episode.
Yeah, these are weird.
No, I know, but
If
I
you're
don't want to
like
meet. I don't want to
season
meet every
two,
episode.
stop it.
Just like
Well,
every-
it's like
If you're like the
4
season
seasons
two
of
first
10
two
episodes
episodes, then
of like
pop it.
30 minutes. You can binge through it quick.
well, I'm about to watch Charlie's Angels for the first time.
That's it.
Watch
so I
Rebels
gotta do
before
that.
that.
I can't promise you that, PLD. But my favorite news, Lucasfilm wise, or at least Star Wars wise, was Daisy Ridley. I guarantee y'all will talk about Rey over the course of this. Yes, please. I'm glad she's back, and let's be nice to her this time. But Indiana Jones trailer took the day for me. That trailer, Bones, it's awesome. I cannot wait, and I cried on the train watching it to work this morning. It was great. It was fantastic. I didn't like sob. I had to control myself. But
I
it
teared
was,
up during my reaction. Actually, absolutely.
it was great. It's sweet. I love it.
It was weird to me until the music kicked about halfway through, and then I'm like, now it's an indie trailer. It was right when the music hit.
Because what was the song they played?
Sympathy for the
Oh,
Devil.
yeah.
Rolling Stones.
Yeah, they're trying to get everyone copyrighted and all the reactors. The Rolling Stones taking like, I'm gonna
I
take
think
that
I
money.
think that's
Mick
what
Jagger's
I
like,
Can I
no.
say it? Can I just say it? Can I just say it so you guys don't have to? What a bunch of dick bags. Like, you guys know exactly what you're doing. Like, we get it at this point. Like, I understand. And you know what else they did? You know what else they did? They put it on the Lucasfilm YouTube page. They were like, guess what page is lacking in subs? The Lucasfilm YouTube page, which we're going to start to get rolling. And by the way, if you also watch the Star Wars Celebration panel, there was a fucking commercial for the Star Wars YouTube channel that you were watching the stream on. Absolutely ridiculous. I
Man, I
was
agree.
so upset for a few minutes.
Is it
It was
more-
just like, I was like, you guys need to stop.
Is it more or
Someone
less
needs to tell them
ridiculous than watching a Nicole Kidman AMC ad when you're sitting in the AMC theaters?
Oh, but when Jimmy Kimmel just like fucking spikes it in her face, like it's so nice that they let you out of the AMC
Yeah.
theater for the last 8 months. Like
Yeah.
that was that was cinema. That was cinema at the top.
real quick before I also bounce off, I'll say Ahsoka trailer was super awesome.
Mhm.
Announcement wise, not that I have faith in announcements anymore until they
Right.
prove it to me, but James Mangold, everything he's involved in, the fact that he's getting involved with Swamp Thing and Star Wars. Logan is one of my like top 3 or 5 comic book movies of all time.
He also shit on the volume for like 60 seconds on the
That's
Star
fine.
Wars
That's
Celebration.
pretty
totally
funny.
fine. Yeah.
I'll have to
We do
watch
real
that.
shit.
He said real shit.
We do
Yeah,
real
he
shit.
said
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
making real shit, and I quote.
Jesse, before you say anything, I really say about I understand your hesitation. I really think these three are pretty much lost in place for a couple of reasons.
I hope so.
Mangold and Indy, obviously.
I thought Feige was going down.
Feige was never really. He was like, "Oh, we'll do something," and obviously he was busy. But Mangold,
Variety ain't
And
shit.
they said Taika was the next movie, and now they're like, well, now we
Who
got this
said
Ray
that?
movie.
Who said that?
They made
Kathleen
a
never said that.
Photoshop
Kathleen
file.
Kennedy.
StarWars.com never said
Jesse.
that. Star Wars never said that.
Don't even play. They made a
never said
cool
that.
Photoshop file, and that's it.
That's
It
it.
was a
yeah.
cool PSD file, and they sent it off, and they exported it, and that was the most talk they ever had.
With somebody dropping it. That's all it is. That's all it is. If this is
I'm-
Celebration, Mangold is there. Dave Filoni's not going to leave. Dave Filoni's film is definitely happening.
Nah.
And Daisy Ridley being on stage, like she's locked in already. I don't think see any reason.
She
how
was
that's not-
there.
She was there.
Yeah,
Daisy
yeah,
Ridley was there.
she came
Yeah,
out.
she
Oh, yeah,
showed up.
got
I was
huge.
showed up.
God.
With the
I-
director,
I-
and an interview afterwards, Kathleen Kennedy said they've been working on this particular one for 3 years already, or 2 or 3 years. So
Well,
this one,
that's-
they're pretty much locked in.
That was the
That
Lindelof
explains a
script,
lot
right?
of the bullshit that you thought was bullshit on the
Mhm.
internet for the last.
That's
like,
that's the Damon Lindelof script that's getting rewritten by whoever they brought in. My only concern about the Mangold movie is he's super fucking busy, especially with Gunn also announcing the Swamp
He
Thing.
said he doesn't know which
and
one of his
he's-
movies is coming out first.
Right, and he's doing
That's fine. Let him
a
cook.
musical with Timmy
Let him
Chalamet,
cook.
right?
Yeah.
What's it?
He's making a musical?
Bob Dylan.
Yes.
He's Bob Dylan biopic.
he's
I
making the
think he's a
Bob
guy who
Dylan
can do it.
biopic.
Mhm.
Yeah, he is.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's let him make that first.
Timmy Chalamet.
Mangold's definitely
Wait,
not the first film
wait,
coming out.
Timmy-
so we
Timmy
We
got-
can sit on
Chalamet-
Swamp Thing. We can
Timmy
sit on
Chalamet
Swamp Thing.
has 2 musicals coming up because he's doing Wonka with
Is he singing
Paul King. Yeah,
He is
it's a
singing in
musical.
that, yeah.
Is he? I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know it was a musical.
Guys,
Good
all right,
good
we just
morning,
gotta say it.
Starshine.
We're all screwed. If that dude can sing,
Yeah.
it's over, right? Like if he can sing and it passes, like we let
It's okay.
Ryan Gosling
It's
sing.
okay. He's with Kylie Jenner. He's not threatening. All right, guys.
Eric,
gonna-
yes. Don't worry. We used
We
real
didn't
boxes.
use
It's not all CG. Don't worry.
But it wasn't just that. It was like the Acolyte cast came out, the Andor cast came out, and then Mangold came out, and it's like, fuck the volume for like an hour and a half on the Star Wars Celebration panel. It's just like, holy shit.
Confirmed. Paul Atreides is in Bob Dylan in Star
But
Wars.
we're gonna bounce y'all. Be good.
Arrakis is
Peace
attached
out, yo.
to Tatooine.
Please talk more indie on my behalf.
Yeah.
Thank
We'll get
you.
there, yeah.
Toby Jones. Oh my God. Okay. Bye.
Bye,
James
everybody.
Mangold. Holy
Toby
shit.
Jones and Phoebe.
De-aged Indiana Jones. Oh my
Yo,
He looked good. He looked because there was more extended scenes in that trailer. I thought he looked really good.
I did think so. I also thought the horseback scene looked better in this trailer.
Almost
Yeah.
into the broadcast. Gang, gang.
Ooh, that was
Thanks, Allison. She did that in our Avatar review.
dude, there was
review
a
part 2.
severe transgression during the Mads Mikkelsen
portion. Yeah,
portion of the stage show where Anthony Carboni, God bless his soul, I love this man so much, did great work with the Star Wars show, one of my favorite pieces of things ever, but he said some wild shit while they were talking about Indiana Jones while with Phoebe Waller-Bridge and James Mangold are on stage. He says, while talking about Indiana Jones, have either of you seen any of your characters in cosplay on the showroom floor? And Mads Mikkelsen is like,
Nazis.
I sure hope nobody's playing like me on the showroom floor.
At least
And
he played
everyone's
it
like,
off well.
we need to beat the shit out of those people immediately if they are on the showroom floor. And Anthony just like kept pushing it for like 10 seconds. And it was just extremely awkward. I know he was totally talking about his Star Wars character, not his Indiana Jones character, and it definitely made more sense from the Star Wars guy who's not used to talking about Indiana Jones. And then Phoebe Waller-Bridge ended up somehow bringing it over to an L3 situation, which was cool to bring back, but like was very weird. It was definitely.
I don't know how much Galen Erso cosplay there is going on, but I'm curious if there's any going on.
Like, honestly, if you're gonna cosplay and somebody's gonna be like, "What are you, Galen Erso?" It's like you could also be
half the Imperials.
Half the Imperial people. You just be like, "I work in maintenance."
He does just have a standard Imperial, unless you're doing the dirty one on the planet at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, the farm planet there.
The one he's a farmer.
The one where he's like got a bullet in him, like clearly shot.
He's dying.
He's dying. Those are the people who really try, honestly. Like in the moment.
You can always hear
cosplayers.
Like
you can cosplay. You know, like you can build out a costume. But if you take the time to be like, no, I'm from this frame of a thing. You've clearly gone above and beyond. Like me, like that's just no. I'm Rose on the door. There's just room for me on this.
Technically speaking, Mike, I mean, Mads has already been in Rogue One. Lars has voiced Thrawn, and it'll probably be the live action Thrawn. I'm imagining we're going to get that tomorrow. The announcement, because we have the Ahsoka panel tomorrow. And obviously, we already did the Ahsoka trailer, so if we're gonna have a whole panel, you gotta have something.
We won't see.
No, we're not gonna see that one. I'm hoping we can see the Clone Wars 15th anniversary one.
Which we won't. Well, we might see that.
So we did get to see the making of Andor season 1 panel today on the Celebration live stream. They actually showed that whole panel, which was nice. So I'm hoping that since Clone Wars,
I will be watching that after this.
That's a good. It was awesome. Yeah. So I'm hoping that we might get one panel that Clone Wars 50th anniversary makes sense, because it's not going to get any sensitive information there. No footage they're going to show there. Nothing new, unless they're going to announce a Clone Wars season 8 or 9 out of nowhere, which I don't think they're doing.
No. I think Bad Batch is doing a superb job of continuing on the feeling. I don't think enough people are watching it. I think in terms of and I've been doing this a little bit with my friend group talking about Star Wars in the era that we are right now.
There's so much.
Yeah. We are in the era of make the Rise of Skywalker great again. Like, and that's okay. And fortunately for us, they are doing in my opinion, an exquisite job of making a subliminal, a subpar piece of property in Star Wars feel like it's not as bad as it once was. And I still haven't rewatched it from the first time in theaters. But once all of this is over and they explain to me why all this shit happened, I might be on board a little bit more than I was before the first time. And if I have a little more knowledge, I might get a little bit. So
Yeah, I
when
enjoy it from the
Programmerin
beginning,
says
so I'm good.
somehow Palpatine returned, that whole sentence will be expunged through 900 minutes of television that I will have had to have consumed to understand why. But if it's
I understand. No, honestly, I never had a problem with that. I know. I mean, I'm one of the minority. I actually totally dug Rise of Skywalker. That Palpatine returning randomly. It's like having Obi-Wan and Luke talking about the Clone Wars and A New Hope. They always have stuff that we know we're going to get filled in later on. That wasn't important necessarily. The why and how Palpatine returned wasn't important to the story. Palpatine was back. That was the important part. We'll get that filled in later on with the property as they expand out through Disney Plus and other movies. I've always felt that way. So it never really bothered me as much as it bothered other people. So
I think I've had that in the back of my head, and now that it's like being more obviously pushed, the second I saw the VATs, the second you see the VATs on Navarro in season 2 of The Mandalorian, you're like, okay, I think I get what you guys are really trying to do.
You
can say M count as much as you want, but when you said M count, I didn't know there was going to be a season 2 of The Mandalorian. And when you show me season 2, like shriveled up bodies, I'm like, okay, you guys are really pushing this forward here.
I
wish they did a better job at hiding the obvious, I guess retconning, but not retconning, but like when they did the episode of when Grogu healed Grief Karga was the week that Rise of Skywalker came out.
Right.
And just so that you could show, hey, here's a new Jedi power. Grogu's been able to do this forever. Oh, hey, 30 years from now, Rey does this to the snake in the cavern. So they were obviously going like, hey, don't, Rey can do it because it's happened before, that type of thing. And it was just a little too obvious. I wish they did a better job at masking that because
I totally forgot that had happened. I totally forgot that was.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it for 4 years. When you're talking about how they're totally like explaining away, where the cloning and stuff happened. I think they started to get heavy-handed with it and then they went away from it. So it's been doing a better job that way.
Well, did you say you were watching Bad Batch?
No, not me.
Okay, well, they're slapping the Star Wars cloning dick across your face like the entire.
I know
show.
Echo's a clone. I just don't know.
That makes sense. That also makes sense.
So much so, and not to spoil it, but like the second season in particular has taken the how the Mandalorian season 1 took the Moff Gideon slow build to a behind the scenes baddie. There is a Imperial cloning division that is black site. It is black site. It is off the grid from any. If you hack into an Imperial thing with your little fucking chopper droid thing that plugs into everything, you won't see it on any database. So they've really pushed that there was this behind the scenes cloning thing going on. So much so that there are like, I'm not gonna spoil it. I mean, it is like the Bad Batch is doing a much better job of making me interested in the cloning thing.
It's all been there. I mean, the whole thing is. I mean, first of all, you have the Bad Batch as a cloning show. Anyway, it's all about the clones. So obviously that takes place, and it's just taking a lot of the stuff from the expanded universe from back in the day. We're getting Heir to the Empire now. Now we got Mount Tantus in the Bad Batch, so it's been there the whole time. This whole plot has been in their background. So it's like almost like I feel when Rise of Skywalker happened.
Sounds like a Nazi, right? Like what's his name? Like Hemlock.
Hemlock, yeah, it's Hemlock.
It sounds like Himmler. Like it sounds like a Nazi. Like all these dudes, even the dude's name. What was Christopher Lloyd's name this week?
Hellgate.
Hellgate, yeah.
Sounds like a Nazi. Like literally all these dudes sound like, even though he wasn't a Nazi, be very clear, he was a separatist. He believed
that's a pejorative term.
Count Dooku was a chill and righteous dude.
Right.
But let me just murder all these people and press this button for democracy.
I do agree with that. Rise of Skywalker, the dagger. Let me hold this dagger up. Oh, I just happen to be standing in the very perfect spot where this dagger lines up all the pieces.
I don't even remember any of this. Like I have the Blu-ray Steelbook of Rise of Skywalker, and I don't think I've ever put the disc into the machine.
I think I've seen Rise twice. I watched
I think I might do it.
in theaters, and then I was before the Schmodown last year, I was training for a Star Wars match, so I watched all the movies.
I just
that was the
figured
only-
that any question from
I didn't even
Rise
bother
of
taking
Skywalker
notes
and
on
any
it, though.
Star Wars
Just
thing
rewatched.
could be answered
There's
with
not.
common knowledge.
I would hope so. I don't know. We'll see. So back to Celebration, though.
So Thrawn,
Um,
Let me just interject one more thing if I can.
Go.
Since we're talking about Bad Batch, I do feel like that's one more thing we're going to get.
They're going to do a
on
panel,
Monday.
right? Or
The Bad Batch panel on Monday. So
It's
I think
on
we
Monday,
get a
right?
season.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a
they're
season
going
3
all the way to
announcement.
Monday.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
that's the big panel on Monday. So I feel we're going to
Okay.
see. I think we might even get a trailer because this has been in the works for a while.
There's
I
going to
think
be
now.
12 people in the room by Monday.
No, not after what they just did.
Yeah.
The last 2 episodes of Bad Batch were exquisite.
Oh, I
Star
just mean for the Celebration event.
They're
Like,
tired.
people are
They're tired.
people are gonna be tired over the
knew.
weekend.
They knew
being
it was
down.
always scheduled for Monday.
I know. I'm just
Honestly, I think flights out are probably cheaper on Tuesday. That's probably a
Yeah.
good thing they did that.
Natty Gunner will be in the panel for that one. He got that one since he lives in London, so he'll be there for that. So
That was, oh my God, as somebody who in no way had any thought that they were going to go to this celebration, to watch your internet friends squabble for panel tickets and just like get into lotteries and stuff was just like, I couldn't even imagine the stress. Like that's like going to a music festival and paying to go to the music festival and not knowing whether or not you were going to get to see a show.
yeah.
Or you
Not
could
like
see
how
your
good of a
favorite
seat
show,
am
yeah.
I gonna get? Am I even gonna get to see the act that I want to see?
Well, that's the most annoying part about that is at least back in the day you can get. I mean, obviously you can't fit everybody into the screenings, but like they streamed it to the floor. If you're there,
Mhm.
at least you're getting it.
Oh,
You still
yeah,
get that communal experience. They're not even doing that this year, which is
No,
really
and
annoying.
from what I heard from people that were on the like at the Star Wars show portion, like they waited there. Like they wanted to be there and they didn't get it.
Nope.
So for some of those people, like Anthony Carboni was like, want to see the Ahsoka trailer? And like 30,000 people are like, give it to us now. And like really aggressively like, yes, give it to us because we watched it on our phones. We would really like to experience this
Yeah.
with the crowd and with audio and everybody
Right.
loving it.
Yeah.
And they did that slowly, progressively throughout the day. But like those people who waited didn't get to see that Acolyte content, which I've heard was amazing. I think that is something that a lot of us,
Oh yeah.
I think I mentioned when I just came on, like this was the Disney Plus day Expungepon panel day. Like they talked about Ahsoka that day. They talked about Acolyte. They talked about Skeleton Crew, all that stuff. And you're like, all right, cool. Finally show us this. And they did. And the Acolyte crew was there and was so transparent. Jonas, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce your last name.
Suotamo.
Sotamo.
Swatamo.
Suotamo.
Swanamo, he totally overtook the 6 minutes they had on stage. And like, let's all say Wookiee Jedi. He's talking about like how amazing it was to be able to play a Wookiee that was not Chewbacca
Yeah.
and be able to like go to work and be different, but
His own
do like
yeah.
the same thing. That's so cool. Like, oh, that's so cool. And he's not gonna be like some like child Jedi. It's not gonna be like when we're watching Bad Batch or when we're watching Clone Wars. You're like, oh look, cute little Wookiee. Like, no. This is gonna be some big Wookiee. Is he gonna be the homeboy from the cover of the High Republic?
No, not Briaga. It's a different one. It's a different.
Okay.
Kel Naka, I think his name is, or something to that effect.
Kalnaka? Yeah, I think that was his name.
I gotta say though, Jonas is a great ambassador for Star Wars because he just loves the property so much, and he just every time you talk to him, it's like contagious. His energy, his like
He
love
even
for
says
it.
it right. Like he talks about like the energy that Peter Mayhew gave him, and he told a great story about how when he first saw Star Wars for the first time, he looked up who played Chewbacca. Like that was what he looked up when he saw Star Wars for the first time. He was like, that person's tall, and like I'm tall, and that's cool, and let's see who this guy is. And like, oh, that's one of my favorite things about Star Wars celebrations. I love comparing it to a music festival because it's like a Star Wars music festival where everybody is just like there might be tripping acid. Who knows? You're tripping on Star Wars acid. You're like sipping on those death sticks a little bit at Star Wars Celebration, having a good time, sipping on the blue milk, and everyone's just loving each other. Like I think the only like rough part of the day was the poor lady who had to translate for the guy from Squid Game. She was just like not ready for the moment.
Does he not
I
speak
don't
English?
think she expected to walk out
Oh,
to
wow.
like
Okay.
40,000 people surrounding this stage, like ready for content.
That's
She
I
like had
didn't.
the notepad writing down everything he's saying.
I didn't know he didn't speak English. I wonder how they're going to play that in the series.
I think I heard that there's a different voice. I wonder if somebody's doing the voice for him, maybe, or something like that,
Interesting.
potentially.
Okay.
I don't know for sure.
He's really good in Squid Game. That I caught on Squid Game way late, but I loved it.
That's one thing I actually haven't seen yet.
You haven't seen
that one. I've not
So
seen it.
forever when it was on, I thought it was like a heightened reality show. I didn't know it was a narrative story, scripted story.
Yeah.
And everyone was like talking about it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like a reality show with like remember before American Ninja Warrior became very popular, they had MXC. You know, they had the Japanese Ninja Warrior, whatever the original Ninja Warrior competition. Right. So I thought it was that, but like heightened with edited for reality TV. Well, I didn't know I didn't know people were dying in the show, right?
Okay,
I thought they were dying. You know, they were getting eliminated, right? That type of thing. Because I just didn't even pay attention to it.
Gotcha.
And then I watched it to start editing. We did some reactions here on the channel. Jesse was doing them, and so I had to watch the show and I was like, oh, this is totally a written TV show. It was fantastic. It was really good and emotional towards the end too. You get hooked on these characters, and you don't know who's going to last to the end.
I have heard that. I definitely want to get into it. It's one of those things.
Do not watch the Mr. Beast video unless you want to be spoiled for the show.
Yeah, watch the original first.
Watch the 8-hour show before you watch the 19-minute YouTube video.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Netflix is making a reality Squid Game. It looks like. Huh.
Good for them,
that
man.
they are.
Yeah.
I've heard that too. I've read that, seen some reports of that too. Not good. Yeah. No.
And Netflix is a weird brand. I think sometimes they have these weird decisions they make. I don't know.
If they do a live act, we were talking about not Pinocchio. We were talking about Pokemon earlier. If they do live action Pokemon,
which is what I've heard. Yeah, I've heard that.
I think they could do it but they would have to throw all the money because it would be so CG heavy. So it would just depend on how they did it.
Okay. Detective Pokemon did it really well. I did not think it was possible, and then I saw Detective Pikachu.
Yeah,
Detective Pikachu was
that's the only Pokemon thing I've ever watched was the Detective Pikachu one. That's the only thing I've ever watched. That's it.
I mean,
I grew up on Pokemon, and Detective Pikachu really was surprising at how well it captured the essence of I could watch this.
I don't know what the game was about.
Like Cowboy Bebop, I'm grabbing my pitchfork and we're going to war. Because they murdered it,
been 6
and they're about to do the same thing to One Piece, and we cannot let these people keep getting away with these war crimes against the anime community, because Japan does it on their own enough. Japan does it well enough, terribly. Like, ask anyone. There is Attack on Titan live action movies that are terrible and they're terrifying. You should not see skyscraper tall, naked people running around killing people in real life. It's meant for anime.
Hire Lego.
Reason why.
All the best.
If you do it right with Pokemon, you can do it. But they fucked up Firefly. Just make Firefly. Like, it was really easy. Just make Firefly, but they did it with 4 practical sets, and everything else was shot on Netflix's shitty version of the volume, and it was really bad. It was really bad. Firefly was made with in a cave with a box of scraps, and you guys had a Netflix budget, and you somehow
Iron Man
up the best anime ever.
Scraps.
I'm gonna have to Google what Firefly is because I thought you were talking about the Joss Whedon show. But PLD, what were you gonna say about that? You were trying to say something about Bad Batch. We got totally sidetracked.
I just thought that I think they're going to get an announcement of a third season, and we might get a trailer for Bad Season in the Bad Batch panel, because I remember the Bad Batch season 2 was pushed back a couple of times. It was like done and ready to be debuted in like the fall, then it was going to be December, then it was January, then it was like February. And a trailer and everything, absolutely. Yeah. So I kind of feel like since after we saw the end of Bad Batch season 2, it's obvious that they're making a season 3 or at least some kind of wrap up. So I got to feel like they've already been working on it for a while. We're gonna have footage. I bet we're gonna get a teaser. Like they're gonna announce season 3, and here's a teaser for it. That's what I'm hoping.
That's been a continual thing. Like even going back to like the Rebel days, like when Rebels was premiering, like a season would end, and it would usually end coinciding around this time, and you would either get an episode of, the show at Celebration or something like that, or a trailer.
Absolutely.
And this is just, I wouldn't be shocked. And if it wakes up with character X waking up in the snow, that would be rad. Like I think that would just be really cool.
I think you're gonna be disappointed about that. I think we might get a different version of character X. I think we might get a different version of character X coming back later on, potentially in a different way.
That would be even like.
So are you saying there's more of them out there? Like they're cloned or something?
No, it's Racer X. Are you saying it's Racer X?
I think it might be Racer X.
I don't know what that refers to. So part of my lack of excitement. No, I don't know what you're talking about in the Bad Batch. I've seen Speed Racer. Part of my lack.
Have you seen the
part of my lack of excitement. No, I haven't seen the show. Part of my lack of excitement for the Clone Wars, like to go back and like my motivation to go back and watch all the Clone Wars, or even to watch the Bad Batch, or even to be honest, like the excitement about Filoni or Mangold's movie, is that I'm sick of seeing stuff in the past. I want to see stuff in the future, which is actually I'm most excited about the Rey movie with potentially Grogu. Was that actually like confirmed? Was that confirmed that Grogu's gonna be in it? They basically just said it's gonna be him, or is that like people?
That's people assuming. They never made any mention of it.
So I didn't hear.
He's either dead or he's in the movie.
Maybe, yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised. It'd be a smart business decision for sure.
People were tweeting that out. They're like, Grogu would be 91 years old and Rey is 15 years. And I'm like, wait, did they confirm Grogu's just going to live through? Okay.
I think a lot of people.
I didn't see the actual.
It does make sense.
What's up, buddy?
Does make sense.
Lizzo's going to be in it, and Jack Black's going to be in it.
Hi.
And Christopher Lloyd's going to be in it once he's done with his banishment.
I can't hear what you're saying.
I can hear them a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, I have my headphones on. That's why. Go.
And Jeremy, we got the Andor season 2 trailer. We just got to get it. That's the thing. We have to get it. That's my problem. I think we will get it soon, though. But yeah, I understand that to a degree. I used to be like that, but I think I see, especially the Mandalorian part for me, like that's filling in a big gap of knowledge that we don't have. That's what I love about it. The fact that like between 6 and 7, we have such a large gap of everything.
Where they when they jump back, and this is not just Star Wars, this is any franchise. Like I was less excited about Captain Marvel because we kind of know where it leads in the MCU. I'm much less excited about the Hobbit films because we already had Lord of the Rings. Like any franchise that is jumping back in time,
okay. That's
unless they're jumping back in time to make a hard 90 and then go a different direction with the timeline, or a different, or go a different direction with this list of characters who had nothing to do with the main timeline, and they're going this way. And so which is why I am excited about the Acolyte, because they're jumping so far back, and maybe this will be Mangold's movie as well. They're jumping so far back that we don't really know where it'll end up.
Mangold's movie is even farther back,
25,000 years.
Oh yeah,
1,000 years. Like,
I just mean if you're gonna do a prequel, and I already know where this timeline ends. If you're going to go back in time, go hard this way and then shoot off this direction where you have nothing to do with the original timeline. And I'll be excited about your film or your project or whatever.
That seems what the Acolyte wants to do, because from the way that the actors were talking today, and the producers as well, that it seems to be at least 100 years removed from any High Republic content we've received through books or comics, while also being hundreds of years behind any movie content or book content we have gotten around the Phantom Menace. So there's hundreds of years on either side of like buffer, which is nice to contain that story, and then allowing Mangold's thing to breathe in its 25,000 years before anything.
I just don't want the mystery to be, who is this dark Sith Lord? Well, we know who the fuck that dark Sith Lord is. Like, so there's no mystery to me. But where they exceed my expectations is when they knock it out of the park, like they did with Andor, because that show was so good, even though we know exactly where all these characters end up.
Well, I mean,
but
think
they
about
did
it
such a
also,
good job that it actually got me excited week to week to watch it.
if you think about Dave Filoni's thing with Mandalorian and his whole project, that you're not seeing none of those characters ready to go on until he be in the sequel trilogy. Like, there's the underlying how Palpatine
I'm
returns,
assuming
maybe,
everyone dies.
but like, so that is really what you want in a way, because it's,
Right.
it's taking a different angle. It's not showing you anything you're seeing. It's all surprise. We don't know what's going on after that.
And that will pay off for me when we see one of these characters show up in a timeline beyond the Rise of Skywalker.
That's fair.
It'll I'm sorry, it won't pay off. It'll pay off more. It may pay off in its conclusion whenever it decides to conclude.
We're just gonna get the all-stars. We're just gonna get the best characters in the future. It's just gonna be Ahsoka hanging out with Sabine and Ezra and Rey and Grogu and
Jimmy
Chopper.
Hondo will not gonna please. That's all I want. I want Hondo back.
It's just
Hondo can be the idiot, and they're all just gonna be hanging out, and they're all gonna be friends, and they're all gonna be living where on the wherever what is it Batu.
Batu.
They're all gonna be living on Batu.
They're all on Batu at the end. They're all standing in line for a Rise of the Resistance.
And you can stand for pictures.
I think it boils down to what the MCU is happening now, where you have a world-ending threat and you're like, where the fuck are all the big heroes, that type of thing. So it's like in the Rise of Skywalker, you have this galaxy-ending threat, and where are all these heroes? Where are all our people that we know and love, who we're watching on a week to, it's like, oh, maybe you're not part of the mainstream. Maybe they were there, maybe they were in their ship, maybe the
Ghost was supposedly Ghost was in
the Ghost was spotted, yes, or at least the the Ghost style of ship. So yeah, maybe Mando was flying around in his N1, he just wasn't the star of that story.
Yeah,
so
well,
I don't know.
Precedent for that as well, because Dave Filoni did a great job explaining Ahsoka's absence from the original trilogy. If you watch Rebels, they do a good explaining that.
I agree with that.
So
they just have to do, but you can only pull that card so many times, where you're like, oh, they were stuck. We had them trapped in a cavern for 30 years, that type of thing. But I guess, but they have done that where it's like, where was this character? They were in the Outer Rim, stuck on a random planet for 20 years. So I don't know. It just depends, I guess, on the story. I just want storylines of any franchise to move forward. That's all. That's my. And so I'm most excited about the Rey movie. Cool. That's my whole point.
Yeah, I get that. It goes back to a point I made earlier, where it's like we just have to it seems like what they did today was try to appease everybody.
Yeah, they really did.
Okay, so you want this?
You got Filoni,
you want this?
You got
and you want this?
Yeah.
So everybody, shut the fuck up. Eat your little piece of pie. Enjoy your little piece of pie. Let everybody else enjoy their piece of pie.
Yeah, not only
everybody enjoy their pie.
Yeah, by introducing, they introduced the whole the whole timeline aspect with all 9 different things. They mentioned that there's projects being developed for every one of those things mentioned. I mean, they had the Old Republic, the High Republic, Dawn Jedi, Old Republic, High Republic.
Yeah.
All 9, they have projects being developed. There's stuff that we haven't even got announced yet. So what you're saying is right. They are giving you, I don't care what part of the timeline you like, we're developing projects in every one of them. So you're gonna have something.
That goes back to there are people who were if you look at the sequel trilogy, well, The Mandalorian is a reaction to the sequel trilogy. So it's like, let's give the people who grew up with Heir to the Empire and that kind of stuff that they thought were their stuff, which kind of builds off on well, we're also going to satisfy the fancies of the Rebels people who started with Thrawn and that stuff. We'll loosely somehow tie it over to this, and we're going to all start weaving these webs that are going to all start to maybe tie all of you together to the point where if they do take Grogu and put him in the Rey movie, it's like, see, we're going to bring the Mandalorian people and bring them over to the Rey people, and suddenly they will all be friends because Grogu's there and everybody loves Grogu, right? Maybe.
Not the frog people.
That's right. Probably people don't like her.
He's a menace.
Lizzo. Big
Lizzo
Grogu.
loves Grogu.
Sir
Also,
Grogu.
Grogu
Sugar.
fixing bets. Big fan.
Oh,
Grogu fixing bets.
100%.
That was my favorite thing this week was Grogu like using the Force
Mhm.
to make the field goal go right through the uprights instead of bouncing off the post.
Hey, Qui-Gon did it first though, man. And Phantom Menace. Chance
Oh
coup.
god, yeah, 100%. Big
slaying
Qui-Gon
that dice. Yeah, take him to play in the craps table. He'll help you out. You
And
walk
if
away winning.
Lizzo won the social media version of "Let me show everybody I was on Star Wars," Jack Black lost. Two very like low def pictures of him and Lizzo, like on his like iPhone 5 reverse camera taken, and Lizzo has like all of these high quality like pictures with her and cast members, and Jack Black just has two very low profile photos. Like it was like not great.
Jack was excited. He was in the moment. He was excited to be there. Lizzo's like, I'm recording all of this for
He was
TikTok.
like, "They let
Let's
you bring
go."
your cell phone here? I took this with my Apple Watch."
Jack Black's killing the game this week with the Bowser and the Bombardier.
Bombardier. Yes, Bombardier.
It was good times. Well, we hit a 2-hour mark, so let's start wrapping up. Any last moments you want to say from the weekend, from anything else too? We talked about many things tonight. What movies are you going out to see? Any of the new? March was a fucking stacked month of movies.
I'm gonna go see.
Is there
Air
anything
tomorrow?
I want to see Air. I still haven't
just
seen
finished
Tetris.
the
I still haven't seen
memoir
John
by
Wick.
Phil Knight, Shoe Dog,
Ooh,
which
John Wick.
I thought I was going to like have some insight to the movie, but spoiler alert for the book, it ends in 1980 and this movie starts in 1984. So
It's a
I
sequel.
guess it's like a sequel to the book, I guess. So yay.
I wonder what'll happen. With these
Yeah, there
movies.
were some spoilers about some of the characters and their life decisions. You know, like some of them obviously died.
Yes.
But like,
So last night I was I hopped on the computer to upload some videos, and I go to YouTube, and my whole subscription page is just Linkin Park. I'm like, what? Where are all these videos coming from? They just all like 7 minutes ago, like they were all just uploaded, and it was like 27 new tracks or however many there were. I haven't had a chance to sit and listen to them, but I want to listen
That
to
sounds
Meteor 20.
So I work for a college baseball team. We were supposed to have 3 games, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We played 18 innings today
Oof.
because we're gonna have rain tomorrow here in South Carolina. The same
Oh.
rain that suspended the Masters made us play a doubleheader today.
Hmm.
And so my whole office doesn't know what to do with a Saturday off. Like all of us don't know. Like and working in collegiate athletics, we usually have our Saturdays are working. And so all of us looked at around each other like, what are we gonna do tomorrow? Like, it was like we don't know what to do. And I'm like, I think I'm gonna park my ass in a movie theater. I think I'm just gonna like watch 1, maybe 2 movies. I think I'm gonna maybe see Air, maybe go see Super Mario Brothers.
Mhm.
Like I still haven't seen John Wick.
I've seen John Wick's great. I'm seeing Mario I'm taking my son to see Mario tomorrow. It's his most anticipated movie of like the last 3 years. So
My girlfriend wasn't sold on it, and then I told her I think if you go to see it and we one day go to one of the Universal parks, it will make it more meaningful.
that's fair. That's fair.
Sure. My issue with the Universal Park they built was it's called Super Nintendo World. It's Mario World. It's not Super Nintendo World.
Not yet.
Where's my
Not yet.
Samus? Where's my Zelda? Where's all my other characters?
Not yet.
They're gonna add Donkey Kong, but like I don't care.
Or like the West Coast one, the East Coast one is going to be
They're saving Zelda for the Zelda movie.
Zelda is going to replace the Lost Continent in Universal Studios in Florida. That is my predictions. Where all the Poseidon ride and all that stuff is. Rumor is that is going to be Zelda Land.
I've been there once, so I don't know what you're talking about. But maybe
The land between Seuss World and Harry Potter World that is easily forgettable.
okay. I've been there once. It was a blur. I don't.
You pass
remember
through it, it looks like a bazaar, like a BA Z
Uh,
A A R.
Kirby's
Bizarre.
Kitchen is the cafeteria where you eat
Okay.
your food.
That is genius. Someone needs to tag Universal immediately.
Call me
why there is
Comcast. Come
not
on.
a Kirby eatery,
Alright.
and why like
They've
Mr.
already called
Toad
me.
is serving us food. Who a character that has nothing to do with food besides being a food, which is kind of like really fucked up if you think about it. That the mushroom is serving us food. Like, okay, we really don't need to think about it too hard.
Let's
but, like,
not think about it too hard.
Come on.
I want a 7-season show of Zelda.
Okay,
cool.
and
Because
what if it's like not a like concurrent show, like where like every season connects? Because like while the Zelda games do like loosely connect to one another, how many of us, aside from those who were like alive when the first game came out, played every Zelda game in the order that it came out? Like you would hop around based on like what console you had, and then
Yeah,
now
sure.
we have like emulators, and you go back and play these games. If you just took each game and released each game as its own self-contained little story, like it almost feels like a Castlevania or a like that kind of thing. Like that would be rad. Like even in the Castlevania art, like that would actually be pretty sick.
They could do it. It just depends. The reason I say that, 7
Castlevania
seasons might
would-
be too much, but like the nature of the Zelda story is like A Link to the Past, for example.
Right.
All right, to beat the evil wizard, you have to get these 3 things. All right, well those could be 3 episodes, and then the wizard is the 4th one, and then the second half is you have to get these 7 crystals before you can go beat the wizard. So like each of those crystals could be an episode. So like you could do a couple of seasons.
Like
worth of
Jackie
stuff.
Chan Adventure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, kind of like that. Or you could consolidate it down. You could do a montage. You
Well,
beat
the
2 or 3 at a
Mandalorian
time.
felt like that, and so did like
Yeah,
even like
kinda did.
1917, or right, like
2023?
1914,
23?
1917. Was that the movie?
The movie
Oh,
was
the movie.
1917, yes.
Okay.
1917.
Yeah.
Like that felt to me like a video game. Like
get
those
that.
guys had to
Okay.
like go see these dudes. Meanwhile, I'm sorry, we have to crawl through these bodies of dudes. That sucks. But we have to like get to the next famous person that is an NPC in this movie that's going to instruct us on our way to go see the next famous NPC that will eventually connect us. It was
Yes.
kind of Fallout 3 in a movie. I'm
That's
not
funny.
gonna say it was Fallout 3, but it kind of felt like the story of Fallout.
Comparing Majora's Mask to Moonfall is the best comparison I think you could have made. And I just replayed Breath of the Wild and beat it, and Tears of the Kingdom does look, in fact, amazing. I can't wait for that. But let's wrap it up here. Unless anyone else had last comments to make. Colin, stop talking. I'm trying to wrap it up.
Good. I am good. I got to get up
All
in
right.
3.5 hours to start streaming Celebration Day 2.
And where are you streaming that on, PLD? If you may
At least how that segued
tell
in there.
us.
Yes, on PLD Projects, you'll see me and Matty Gunner is actually going to appear on the stream. He's going to skip the early morning queue because it was such a disaster. So he's going to talk about day 1 and his experiences, and then he'll head over later on to see the rest of the panels. But we're going to start at 6 a.m. Eastern time when the panel. Well, he's going to start at 5:30 a.m. Eastern time because we're going to talk to Matty first, and then when the panel starts from Ahsoka, we'll be doing the whole same thing we did yesterday, scrolling through Twitter and finding the news as it drops, and hopefully something else comes up and go from there.
What's the first panel?
Ahsoka is the big one tomorrow.
That's like 3:00 in the morning, dude. That's
Yep.
very early.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
If you need to know what PLD Projects looks like, it is right here on YouTube. Look him up on the YouTube, and you can
There you
find
go.
this guy for all
Yes,
of
sir.
his fun stuff.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Colin, what's up with you, man? What are you doing this weekend? What are you doing with your Saturday?
What am I doing
Movies?
my Saturday? I'm gonna go see some movies, but
All right.
when I'm not, I haven't seen a movie since Ant-Man.
Okay.
I'm filming for the College Charleston Athletic Department out here on at CFC Baseball. You can check out. I made 3 banging videos today. Got over like 10K views already today on those bad
Nice.
boys. Just making content of dudes hitting baseballs all the time.
Perfect. And you can catch me tomorrow at the park coaching my son's baseball team because we have a scrimmage. But
Yeah.
it'd be
We got
weird
the
if you
shift.
showed up. I'll
We
be
got the
honest.
pitch clock.
It'd be weird. They're 9 years old. So
I'm
no,
asking, do we have the pitch clock?
I think we're gonna avoid the pitch clock for now.
Do we have the shift?
You know what? The kids are going to play wherever the hell they want to play.
You look, you can get them in the right part.
Can we
Just
introduce
gotta try to keep
the-
try to
If
keep
right
their
field is
pants
not in
up,
second
make sure their
base, you're
belts are
good.
tight.
A little 4-3-2 tomorrow morning. You got a little 4-3-2 action.
That's a little advanced, but maybe you can come out to California. You can teach them. We'll teach them the shift later on in life.
Hey, coming soon. Could be making a return. No,
Perfect.
seriously.
Well, what?
Like moving back.
Oh, yeah, come back. Bay Area, Northern California. We'll talk about it later. Thank you for everyone for joining us in the chat. And if you're still here hanging out, I see a few of you here. Make sure you like the video before you go and wait 30 seconds. Refresh the screen. Leave a comment. Just tell us your favorite part of Star Wars Celebration. It'd be great. If you're watching after the fact, same thing. Leave a comment. Tell us your favorite part. We'll see you next week, maybe. I'm busy next week. It's my mom's birthday. All right, bye.
Bye.